The BBC has confirmed video showing Alex Pretti attacking CBP, kicking out their taillights, spitting at or on them, we're not quite sure. And then agents tackle him, they fight, and you can see the man is clearly armed. Now, this disproves this narrative that he was just peacefully protesting when he was approaching these agents, and it raises several questions. Could these agents have known him? Could a description have been given out? He seems to be wearing the exact same clothes or similar clothes, and maybe they knew this guy was armed, violent, and had previously attacked CBP. Now, this brings up a lot of other questions about whether or not the agents were justified, were more justified, or some are actually arguing less justified. But we'll talk about that. The agents involved are apparently have been placed on leave. We'll talk about that. Plus, the attack yesterday on Ilhan Omar. Everybody thinks it's fake. Everybody thinks it's fake. Obviously, Ilhan Omar supporters and liberals are saying she was attacked. Reports are the man sprayed her with apple cider vinegar. I don't know why or what the purpose of what he did was, because it only actually benefits Ilhan Omar, but I'm glad she's okay. But even several Republicans have said that whole thing was fake. Nobody's buying it. We'll talk about that. Plus, the FBI raided an election hub in, I think, Fulton County it was, in Atlanta. So I wonder if a lot of this stuff that Trump is doing is just about the 2020 election, or perhaps whether or not there will be a legitimate 2028 or 2026 election. We'll talk about that. Before we do, my friends, we've got a great sponsor for you. It is Tax Network USA. Head over to tnusa.com/Tim. Do you owe back taxes? Or maybe you haven't filed in a few years? Now is the time to resolve your tax matters. With the national conversation around abolishing the income tax system, the IRS is fighting back and proving it's here to stay by becoming more aggressive than ever before. They're sending out more collection notices, filing more tax liens, and collecting billions more than in recent years. If you owe, the IRS can take your wages, bank accounts, Social Security, retirement, and even your home. If you owe or haven't filed, it's not a question of if the IRS will act, it is when. Right now, Tax Network USA is offering a completely free IRS research and discovery call to show you exactly where you stand and what they can stop before it's too late. Their powerful programs and strategies can save you thousands or even eliminate your debt entirely if you qualify. Don't make a serious mistake representing yourself or calling the IRS on your own. Waiving your rights can cost you money. They are not on your side. Get protected the right way with Tax Network USA and start the process on settling your tax matters once and for all today. Call 1-800-958-1000 or click the link below for your free discovery call with Tax Network USA. You can also go to tnusa.com/Tim. And don't forget, for my friends, you got to buy some coffee. If you haven't bought coffee yet, you are missing out. Look at this. Look at Alex Stein. He's losing his mind. I can't believe it's been like 4 years since we filmed that commercial with him. I think it's like maybe 3 years. But we've got Appalachian Nights. Of course, we got whole bean. We got ground coffee. Ian's Graphene Dream is a favorite, low acidity. And of course, we have a ton of different flavored coffees. You still got 2 weeks till Christmas. That's Phil's. You've got Luck of the Seamus, Mary's Ghost Blend, 1776 Signature Brew Birthday Blend. Check it out. The latest we just launched is the Rum Runners Roast, castbrew.com. But don't forget, my friends, to subscribe right now if you haven't already. Smash the like button and share this show. Click that URL, copy, paste, bang. Support the show. It's one of the most powerful things you can do. If everybody who's watching right now shared the video, then we'd be the biggest live show ever. I mean, seriously, I mean, you get 50, 60,000 people sharing the video and you end up skyrocketing to hundreds of thousands of viewers, and we'd be greatly appreciative. Joining us tonight to talk about this and everything else, we have She Van Fleet.
Yeah, so I'm on? Okay.
That's you, yeah.
Thank you so much. This is great to be here to escape the ice and cold from Virginia for one day. And thank you so much for having me here.
Right on. Who are you? What do you do?
Oh, well, I just have my second book released yesterday. Awesome. And this is a great book. I really think this is the book that Americans need to read.
Made in America.
Made in America of what? The hidden history of how the U.S. enabled communist China and created our greatest threat. This is the story of how the Americans has time again saved and helped the CCP to be today our greatest threat. And this is the history that's been hidden because They don't want us to know. And the history going back to the 1800s. So once you read that, you will appreciate and this knowledge. And this is the same thing that threatens us today. Not just we create a monster CCP. Now the same communism threat is here. And then we see it on the in Minneapolis.
Right on. Absolutely. Well, thanks for joining us. Should be very interesting. Libby's hanging out.
I'm Libby Emmons. I'm hanging out. Glad to be here. It has been so
Camera's
fun.
not working?
Oh,
Your camera's just dead?
my camera's just dead.
No.
There it is. the cable's
Okay.
falling out.
All right. Well, I'm glad to be here anyway. Really glad to be here this week. It's been so fun
Okay, we got
hanging
it.
out for the past couple of days. And I just want to remind you guys to go check out my podcast. It's called The Pod Millennial. You can find links at thepodmillennial.com. It's on Apple and YouTube and Spotify and the rest of it. We launch every Tuesday. Go subscribe.
Right on. Lisa's here.
Hey guys, they let me back. I'm Lisa. For those who don't know me, I'm the resident Timcast booker, and I'm here in Florida, having fun.
Awesome. Lisa's got a big mouth. It's going to be great. Hello, everybody. My name is Phil Labonte. I'm the lead singer of the heavy metal band All That Remains. I'm an anti-communist and a counter-revolutionary. Let's get into it.
Here's a story from Mediaite breaking. BBC confirms authenticity of viral video appearing to show Alex Pretti kicking agent's car 11 days before shooting. It shows a lot more than that. Let's actually just play the video for you guys. And boy, man, they're really trying to downplay this. In the video, you can see a man that they say is Alex Pretti, and everyone's trying to be really careful. Like, it appears to be him. He is armed. He has a gun in his back waistband, which I think corroborates with the shooting we saw of Pretti before, when they removed the gun from its holster or from his waistband. But let me just play the video for you guys so you can watch it for yourself. This is a damning video.
This is a moment the news movement filmed on January 13th in Minneapolis, showing a man who appears to be Alex Pretti interacting with federal immigration agents 11 days before Border Patrol shot and killed him. Our footage was analyzed by the BBC, whose facial recognition technology confirmed his identity to a 97% degree of accuracy. On the morning of January 13th, our team received a tip that federal agents were blocking a street at the corner of East 36 and Park Avenue in Minneapolis. We arrived around 10:15 a.m. We saw observers shouting at the agents as they walked back to their vehicles. When they started driving away, the man kicked their taillight. An agent then got out of the vehicle, grabbed him, and pushed him to the ground.
And you could just see right there
During the
gun,
altercation,
but you'll get a
agents
better shot
fired
of
tear
the
gas
gun
and
he's got.
pepper balls into the crowd. They continued to hold the man down before they retreat, and he walks away. The man in our footage is wearing a similar outfit to what Pretti was wearing on the day he was killed. What appears to be a gun is also visible above his waistband.
So you can see him standing here. You can see he's clearly armed. And I just want to stress, in the beginning, there's a few things to consider. He's yelling at, you can
Park
see
Avenue in Minneapolis.
So, come on, X. If we scroll back, here's the agent moving forward. It appears he spits on him. I'm not going to pretend that spitting on somebody is, I believe he's spitting on the agent, because you see how he flinches and backs up. I'm not going to pretend that spitting on somebody is like murder or anything. It's bad, and I believe it is a felony if they're going to charge you. But I also want to stress, damaging a federal vehicle, kicking out its taillight, easy felony. So this is massive, because the narrative they've been pushing was that this guy was a peaceful protester, a legal observer who was simply filming. As it turns out, he may have been a repeat felon. Okay, so let me just make sure something is clear. You're allowed to protest. You're allowed to be armed while you protest. But if your intention is to obstruct federal law enforcement, felony, to conspire to do it, felony, and to physically attack and damage federal property, also felonies, and you're armed, I'm surprised that interaction didn't go south like the next one. And I gotta say, apparently the reports are this guy had recently gotten divorced. And I'm gonna throw out this is maybe biased, my opinion. I actually think the guy was trying to start a fight that could result in something like this. I think he was probably depressed. You can see him trying to instigate a fight with these agents and committing several felonies. I don't think that's the action of a sane, rational person who is trying to protest or even logically halt federal operations. It seems like he's just trying to create a situation where someone dies.
If CBP had arrested him and put him in jail, he'd be alive today.
I have a couple questions. First
Well,
of all,
the one thing. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
I was going to say, was that the BBC doing this report?
No,
Because I was
it's
gonna
the
say,
news movement.
Okay.
But apparently they worked in some capacity with the BBC, and the BBC did
I was
confirm
like, look
the
at the
video.
BBC telling the truth. But it wasn't, you just said that he was married. I thought he was like dressing up as women and stuff.
I don't know that I believe those photos. I mean, there's
okay.
photos going around claiming he's drag or whatever. I mean, maybe, but apparently he had recently gotten divorced at some point.
And the last thing, spitting is to me, I'd rather be punched in the face than spit on. I think that's the most disgusting thing in the entire world. These people, that should be I think that's more of an aggravating offense. So he should have been arrested right then and there. Why wasn't he arrested?
Well,
that's the thing.
I
I think we need to be arresting these people more for incidents like this, and then he wouldn't have gotten the situation that he was in before.
That's a really key point, I think. And he also, it turned out that he had broken his ribs. This altercation, you could see how he's been getting violent. And the Minnesota Star Tribune did confirm with the Pretti family that this is in fact Alex Pretti. So we had a situation during the day where a lot of people were like, "Oh, it's not really him; it's AI or whatever." And leftists were trying to community note the post out of existence, trying to say that it's not him, because they know that this completely destroys their entire narrative of what they were trying to say.
Look, I don't want anybody to die. I'm not happy that it happened. I would prefer it if it didn't. I wish it didn't happen. I wish the violence wasn't happening. But people need to understand this, because the terrifying thing is the left thrives on false narratives. And they're trying to create an image of a man who is peacefully protesting, who was executed. In reality, a man who is part of a coordinated network to commit felonies, it's what they're doing, backed by the state, showed up armed, intending to fight federal law enforcement. Let me stress this. This video proves his intentions are to fight feds, not to peacefully film, and he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. It shows that he is intentionally trying to start these fights. He's an instigator, committing several felonies, and he showed up armed. So I see these people saying, I got into it with Maj Touré on X, because Maj, I'm just going to call you out on this one. You're rage baiting here, okay? I'm a fan, but I'm going to say you're rage baiting because Maj is claiming this actually proves that the feds committed first-degree murder and not manslaughter because of prior contact. I mean, that's just a silly argument, okay? Here's a guy. He shows up with a gun intending to commit felonies. Now, the argument everyone's making is you have a Second Amendment right and a First Amendment right. You can protest, you can be armed, they can't kill you for it. Yes, completely agreed. What you can't do is conspire to obstruct federal law enforcement, show up armed trying to fight feds. You can't do that because he intentionally created the circumstance where this would happen. And I got to be honest, I'm going to say it. Maybe I'm biased. I think he wanted this outcome. I think Pretti wanted to suicide by cop because he's kicking out their taillights. He's spitting on them and fighting with them. He showed up with an additional mag. And he knows what's going to happen when he fights these cops.
I don't think they do. I really think.
I think he did.
I swear to you, I really think they're like, oh, I got away with it this time, and now I'm going to get away with it the next time. And it keeps escalating their behavior, just like violent offenders that we see let out of prison all the time. They keep doing it because they think they're going to keep getting away with it.
Not this guy. I would agree with you for like Renee Good. When her lover screams, "Why are you using real bullets?"
Right.
It shows that they think it's a game. This guy, now we know, is intentionally trying to start a fight. Listen, Renee Good didn't show up with a gun.
True.
And it appears that she was trying to flee with reckless disregard to the life of Jonathan Ross.
She looked at him and hit the gas pedal.
She did. She was turning the wheel. I don't think she was like, "I'm going to murder this guy." I think she was saying, "I don't care. Like,
I don't care
I'm
that
getting
you're
out of here.
my
I don't care if I
way."
hit him."
Right.
This guy decides to go fight feds while armed. I'm sorry. Like even someone with an IQ of 75 understands you arm yourself and go punch a cop, you get shot.
I would say I kind of agree with Lisa. I think a lot of people feel like because the past few years, there's no consequence. Whatever you do, there's no consequence. And a lot of those people believe that. And so
They're really dumb, Tim.
I'm going to push back. Renee Good was just shot and killed. You think this guy did not know that they were shooting and killing people?
That's a fair point.
Renee Good is shot driving her car, and the
that point's a
argument
good
from
point.
his cohort is they're killing innocent people. Now, there is an argument to be made. He armed up because he went, oh my God, the Nazis are killing us. I better get my gun just in case. Perhaps.
Maybe he wanted to be a martyr to his ex-wife.
I think he got divorced. I think he was depressed. He's an aging guy, and listen.
Well, he's 37.
That's why these simps are out here anyway, because they want
Not a young
female
man.
attention.
I look at a lot of what these leftists do, and you really can't categorize them based on, probably IQ score or whatever. This guy's not accomplishing anything, right? The guy who attacked Ilhan Omar, what was he accomplishing by spraying her with apple cider vinegar?
Well, he was
Helping
making her look
baking
good.
grease.
Yeah, he was making her look good.
Well, bacon grease wouldn't come out of a syringe like that.
That would be funny though.
Yeah. But
That'd be
they're
hysterical.
saying it was apple cider vinegar.
It was
What is he
apple cider
accomplishing by
vinegar,
doing it? Now, either the guy's dumb as a box of rocks or he wants to help Ilhan Omar. A smart person knows what he did helps. This guy, perhaps you say he's dumb as a box of rocks. I don't think so. I don't think you get into a fight like, what is this, a week after Renee Good is shot and killed, he brings a gun to intentionally go fight feds. He knows what they're going to do.
But what he was trying to do, if you're right, I believe that he tried to be a martyr.
Yes, I agree.
Otherwise, he could use the gun and really kill ICE agent.
I agree, but these people know. It's the I'm not touching you philosophy. It's fifth generational warfare. They want to create propaganda by being the victims.
Martyr, yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so what I'm seeing now, I mean, look at all the A-list celebrities. Look at all the athletes that are coming out being like, abolish ICE. I can't believe this happened. The right doesn't understand the game the left is playing. I mean, a lot of people on the right do, but they don't engage in this way. Trump, I bring it up all the time with the May 29th insurrection at the White House. Trump approached it straightforward, like a samurai. We're going to go in, we're going to be honorable, we're going to shut down the riots. The left approach it like a ninja. We're going to control the thoughts and minds of the people, and we're going to create the narrative so they join our cause.
Yeah, I mean, look, when it comes to this guy, whether or not it was suicide by cop, I don't really have a strong opinion. Maybe it was, but he was definitely ideologically motivated. He knew what he was getting into. He was there in trying to produce chaos, trying to impede ICE operations or CBP operations. This is something that's happening all the time. I like the idea of the government stepping in and removing these people. He should have been put in jail after the first one. His first encounter, if he would be alive today. If you're, if you're concerned about the fact that he got killed, like, it saves lives by putting people in jail. It literally does.
They tried, as Lily mentioned, so hard to community note this, to claim that it was fake, that it was AI. They're spam blasting all the videos saying bad AI. They're saying not even good AI. I got to be honest, if this was AI, it's the best AI I've seen.
Yeah, it's very good.
They're doing it because they know they thrive on narrative. And here's the guy clearly being the aggressor. In fact, when I posted this video, it said, wow, footage shows Alex Pretti attacking DSH agents. Let me get the full post. I said, could he have been known to the agents as they attempted to arrest him? Known violent extremist, armed, violent, actively resisting. And guess what? The original note they tried putting on the post claiming it was fake just got deleted because now we know for a fact it's him. And they're trying so hard.
It really makes a lot of the people who have been running around the past few days saying, like there have been conservatives running around talking about how he was just very peaceful and he wasn't doing anything, and this was definitely like
Those people gotta go.
And
Sure,
how
but
about shout out to Red State?
But here's the thing about this. I think a lot of these people were just sort of auditioning for Barry Weiss, trying to get a job at CBS,
Oh, they hired a bunch of people.
They hired a bunch of people.
Not a Trump supporter in the bunch.
Not a Trump supporter among them. So if you want a job with CBS, you know where your bread has to be buttered, and you have to come out against things like this right away.
That dude from Red State quote tweeting me saying that 2 magazines is the right-wing equivalent of crossing state lines, which is, it's all just sophistries. It's just fake. The dude was violent, instigating fights. He was armed, and he decides, I'm going to show up again to fight cops. I'm bringing an extra mag.
And he was also a part of a coordinated.
And I think
planned. This is
and
premeditated.
right. And the important thing is, it is fair to ask the question of why someone has additional magazines in any circumstance. 99% of the time, you don't think much about it. If I'm walking around and I'm armed and I carry an additional magazine, we say, well, you know, Second Amendment, whatever. Why are you armed? Self-defense? Why the extra mag? Self-defense. You never know. But when you are trying to fight cops on duty as part of a state-backed paramilitary group and you say, I'm bringing an extra mag, I'm going to ask why. It's not self-defense.
No, there's no real need for it.
I think he's a.
There's no need for the gun unless your intention is to kill people.
All by yourself. Yeah, all by itself.
I feel like he's part of what we call death squad in China. They really, really want to die, willing to die, and then there's another group like Renee Good. I think she was one of those. Feel like there's no consequences. You just go in there, make trouble, and they will be fine.
Yeah,
I think
like
she was not ready to die. I don't think she wanted to die.
Renee,
but this one, probably.
Renee Good seemed like a doofy, awful. And that's why you see her lover scream, why did you have real bullets? Yep. They genuinely did not understand that they were engaging federal law enforcement. They thought they were playing footsie with riot cops.
Well,
this guy knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, and Renee Good, I think, thought very clearly that she was protected by her white privilege.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She thought that there was no way they were going to shoot her because she was white.
We do have an update, though, from Mediaite. 2 Border Patrol agents in Alex Pretti shooting placed on administrative leave.
This pisses me off.
But this is normal. So you're going to start hearing from liberals saying, like, oh, they're going to be pissed. They're going to say, yeah, well, we want charges. And you're going to see people trying to act like this is accountability. This is normal for any shooting.
But can't we do this without making announcements? Same thing with Bovino. Like, why are we giving them an inch? We don't have to tell anybody.
No, it's not an
on
inch.
administrative leave.
Any officer, agent, or otherwise that's involved in a shooting gets placed on leave.
Right, but they take it that way, and I don't want to incentivize them because how they rationalize it is they're like, oh, this worked, I'm going to keep doing it, right? So why even announce that?
Because this is what you do in every single officer involved shooting.
Make an exception and not announce it this time. It looks bad.
Yeah, they're saying the official reporting is that 2 Border Patrol officers were involved in the shooting death of Alex Pretti, have been placed on administrative leave, according to multiple reports. They don't really give much other than they say, quote, part of standard protocol after a shooting. The guys probably had to go to a hospital. They probably had to get...
psych evals and all that.
Yes, psych evals and all that stuff. So this is not substantive in any meaningful way. In fact, what we're hearing is that they're not going to be launching a civil rights investigation into the agents, but into Pretti and others who may have been involved. And so I want to give a shout out to Harmeet Dillon over at the DOJ, who is based and doing great work. I would like to see, I'm hoping, and I believe Harmeet is going to be working on it, Don Lemon going to jail. I know they withdrew their petition to have him charged. I'm hoping that they're pursuing the grand jury indictments on that one.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, that they're going to do it? Mm-hmm. Good. Lock them up.
It just bothers me. They just try to promote this idea that he's a nurse trying to save. He get killed by trying to help someone, right? A nurse. And then did we hear more of those violent nurse? One from Boca Raton. That was just absolutely awful. And there's another one from Virginia.
I brought this up earlier today. We're seeing this is becoming
nurses.
Well, a lot of them is because most of them are feminine, right? So they're mostly it's a female dominated like education, what do you call it? Profession. Yeah. Jesus, can't talk. Okay, so we're seeing it over and over again, and I think that we're not really talking about what a crisis there is with trust in our medical, with our medical professionals, because you see this over and over again. You can't trust. Who was it with last time that this happened? The Charlie Kirk thing, and the woman got fired, and this new one that was saying you should inject things into
people.
Yes, I don't want to say what she was actually calling.
She got fired though, right?
Yeah,
she got fired, and her license will be revoked because they reported her. But how do you know now that the people aren't going to keep those opinions to themselves, and then you go to get medical care?
It's not isolated to the United States either. There were cases in Australia where Palestinian activist nurses were saying that they were going to kill Jewish people in their care. One of the Bondi victims, who's a Jewish girl, they changed her name upon entering the hospital because they were worried for her safety with the medical staff.
This is what people on the right need to recognize. In the 2020 election, a lot of people said there was a grand conspiracy. They believed that coordinated groups behind the scenes were, refusing to count Trump and overcounting Biden, all that stuff. The one thing I can say is that Time magazine wrote the article the shadow campaign that saved the election, so they called it a conspiracy. But you don't need a conspiracy. You have what's called a standalone complex, where an ideological group takes action all seemingly in the same direction, which creates the appearance of coordination. That is, during the 2020 election, if you had 1,000 people who just of their own volition decided to, for signature verification, go, oh, Trump is bad, Biden is good, and kept doing that, if you found that across the board that 1,000 people did it, you might say, look, there was this network that was doing it, when in reality, ideologues don't need direction and don't need pay. Now, I bring this up because I've talked about in the past how I got to be careful when I go out to eat. If I go out to eat somewhere and it's got a big old rainbow flag outside, I have no idea what they're going to do to my food.
That's so true.
So we have to be very, very careful. Now imagine, well, I talk about this with my family, going to a hospital and someone recognizes you. This lady willing to say it, how many are willing to do it without saying it?
Absolutely.
I fell off my horse in the summer last year, right?
As people do.
Yeah, I mean, and I hit my head. So I was in there and I was laying like on a gurney in the thing. And this nurse came up to me in the middle of the field and he goes, oh, I see your keychain. I guess you're one of us. Now, it was only an American flag. Now, he was on our side, okay? It was only an American flag keychain.
One of us.
And he wound up watching like actual Justice Warrior Sean. And he was like, oh, tell him I said hi. But anyway, he knew that just for my keychain. So if other people are seeing just my keychain and they're on the other side, how do I know? Right. How do I know I'm going to be getting quality care?
Oh my God.
How do I know they're not going to hurt me?
Meanwhile, this whole thing where like an American flag means that leftist Americans hate you.
Yeah.
It's like it's
Absolutely.
literally the
They
flag
do.
of our
They're
country.
not hiding anything
Yeah,
about it, though.
I love when I go through a neighborhood and there's American flag
Me too.
out front of all the houses. It makes me so happy. And I put a big old giant American flag outside my house.
I got an idea. I'm going to phrase it like this. What if somebody went to one of these left-wing protests with a big satchel full of American flag stickers and then went to their cars and started slapping American flags in the back of their cars?
That's a
what if?
great
I don't think
idea.
anybody should
But isn't
actually
that a
do
crime?
it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Don't do it.
Okay.
But my point is, what do you think leftists would do
They're
if they
gonna
see
break
they're going to smash that car
They
up?
sure would. They burnt a car in Philly for having a Trump sticker on it back in like the first round of elections.
I mean, that at least that kind of makes sense if you're a person that believes, well, America's divided, but everyone loves America. The left doesn't love America. Right?
No. Hate it.
Don't buy that they love America. They don't when they're trying to do things like trying to play like they're patriotic or say, oh, you hate America because you think that, for people that think that it should be illegal to burn the American flag, they're like, oh, you hate America because you. They will use your values against you. They are as deceitful as snakes. They are liars. Don't ever believe them when they say they love America because they absolutely don't.
That's why we shouldn't play by the rules.
Hold on. That was offensive to snakes.
Fair enough.
But seriously,
Fair
this
enough.
is why we shouldn't play by the rules anymore. I'm tired of taking the moral high road and playing by the rules. I don't want to play by.
I just think
they don't play by the rules. Why
How
should
about we play by
the rules?
YouTube's rules today?
I promise I won't say anything bad. I'm always getting in trouble for saying bad
Rumble,
things.
you can say whatever you want in the after show, but YouTube's rules.
Write it down and then just start screaming at the top of your lungs at 10 o'clock.
Serge said I had said like four
Can I
things.
just
this morning.
say
I was
this?
like, man.
It is just, by now, I think we should call all of them communists.
They are. We
Once
do.
you know they're communists, then you know there's no rules. There's no rules. Total,
Well,
by any
I
means
think-
necessary.
right. The issue is the only rules that matter are the rules of the game they are playing.
Yeah.
They're not playing by the rules we created, and this is what the right doesn't understand. We talked about this to a great extent yesterday. The right does not have these kind of insurgent networks the way the left does. So when these things happen, let's just be real.
January 6th was a big chilling effect for that.
How many
because-
people on the right now are defending Pretti?
Oh, so it's
Yeah.
disgusting.
I
You
know.
guys are pathetic out there. It's just
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, they're doing that.
You've got libertarians now defending communists. You know what I love about libertarians? They are so completely unwilling to ever exercise power. I love it because they're not in my way. They're never in my way. Because when it actually comes down to having to use force to defend yourself, your property or community, they fold like cheap suits.
But then they're useless to us.
yeah, so who cares? Just there, whatever.
Libertarians useless in fighting communists. Just useless.
Mm-hmm.
Just listen to Rand Paul lately.
I used to love him. He's really been
I
letting
used
me
to love
down.
him too.
Same.
Yeah, it's just insane. And
Their only
libertarian-
concern is overt organization. Libertarians are basically like, well, there's an organized effort to stop communists, and I can't see the communists, so they must be the good guys.
Okay, but the reason that we don't have these organized networks is because the FBI forever and ever has been infiltrated by these like leftist bureaucrats forever, right? And so with January 6th, there was a huge crackdown on that. People are so afraid to even text things in group chats, right? Let alone this. And why does it take Cam Higbee to out these signal chats? Where was the FBI on that? So we really feel like if we organize or do half the things that they do, we will be the ones arrested and in trouble. Why they continue to get away with it?
Because you don't do the things they do. The right doesn't need to organize license plate trackers. The right needs to have community gatherings and potlucks.
They'll arrest us
for a potluck.
I promise you, they'll be like,
sure.
They make
let them then. I mean, if we
I got kids, man.
Listen. If you can't have a potluck, then we're already cooked.
They'll make it something it's not. They'll say, this is a mega whatever, and they're really talking about...
Then lay down and let the communists win, because if you're not even willing to have a community potluck to organize people on the right, you've lost.
I'm not saying that we shouldn't do that. I'm saying that's why most people aren't doing that, because
they're scared to have a bake sale?
Tim.
If they're scared of a bake sale, we lost. If your point is...
it's not going to be a bake sale. What's the point of organizing a bake sale?
The point, I'm using bake sale metaphorically to say, know your neighbors and communicate with other people in other cities. Don't just be a small, isolated pocket that sometimes texts your friends.
Join our Discord.
That's a good point, too. Hey, look at that. Timcast.com Discord server where you can join and there's people talking with each other. None of us in the Discord are doing anything like license plate tracking or coordinating with government officials, because I'm not saying that's what you need. I'm saying that when it hits the fan, because we don't swear here, right? Who are you going to be connected with? The left already knows. James O'Keefe has been dealing with this. Employees at hotels, rental car agencies, sharing his private details with their insurgent network to be able to track him, sharing photographs of him and what he's currently wearing. The right doesn't have anything like that.
I think that's interesting. We were talking about this a little bit last night, and I was thinking about it in terms of church networks and how useful churches are when they're helping the community. And they're very useful for that, right? They feed people, they clothe people. At least my church is really awesome. They make sure that the community has opportunities to volunteer and to help each other. But they are not particularly political, and they're not really politically aligned, which I think is a
impotent.
Well, but they're not impotent. They're
look
dealing.
At what just happened.
No, but they're dealing with something that's way more important than politics, right? I mean, in the view of the church,
too many of them are woke.
Okay.
I will just say, place in
sure, that's true of some churches, but I mean, I'm talking specifically about the church that I go to that is very helpful and good. But my point is that they're dealing with so much just nitty gritty on the ground stuff. They're not looking at political ideology. So if people want to, and people think that they're involved in their community, conservatives think they're involved in their community because they go to their church. And my point is that there are a lot of other little organizations. You're not going to find this kind of political stuff at church, nor should you. But there are a lot of other small organizations. There's a lot of groups. There's a lot of community groups like, local Republican groups, and they have dinners and they get together and they do all this stuff, but they're not specifically going to go do all of these protests because conservatives are specifically individualistic, right? Whereas leftists are collectivist, and that's sort of part of the issue.
No, more than that is that they don't do anything. You just had Don Lemon and them raiding a church, and the men sit there and let their kids cry, and they separated them from their kids, and the people are yelling at their kids saying like your parents or whatever. And
I thought it was crazy that nobody
stood up and did anything. That's the part that's impotent.
What I thought too was crazy about the church thing was like they just had a massive church shooting in Minneapolis, and they're saying we can storm a church and everyone should just think that we're peaceful. That's crazy to me. Yeah. I'm sorry, you were going to say something.
I don't think that we're here today because the left is strong. I think it's because Christians, conservatives are too weak. I think that's really the problem.
Let's jump to this story from Breitbart. Most influential Hollywood actress Molly Ringwald says, if you support Trump's fascist policies, you'll be found guilty of treason when leftists take over. A video posted on social media shows Ringwald going on a 4-minute rant in which she asserts the Trump administration is a fascist government, despite people being unable to speak freely under actual fascist regimes.
So ridiculous.
I feel like I can't stay silent, and neither should you. There's something horrible going on in our country right now. We had one of the greatest countries in the world, but now this is a fascist government. It's not becoming a fascist government. It is a fascist government. ICE is brutalizing people. If you look what happened in France, they were taken over by the Nazis. They were invaded. Eventually, they got their country back, and those people who collaborated were found to be criminal. That's what's going to happen. You should not support what is going on. You are going to be seen as a collaborationist. It's collaborator, but sure. Those who were convicted were sentenced to death and later executed. Others were sentenced to life imprisonment or forced labor. She is not being cute. She is being honest. The left is telling you what they intend to do. And yeah, they're going to do it if they win.
I agree.
It's such a I can't listen to this stuff and take them seriously. It's so ridiculous. It's such. I mean, obviously they're actors and stuff, but
you don't take what she's saying seriously
about the United States being a fascist.
About
government?
her going to murder people if she wins
And
political
lock us
power.
up. I do.
Oh well, yeah, I think the left would absolutely do that. But I'm talking about the stuff of like, you know, Trump's a fascist, ICE is a fascist, the Gestapo. That's the stuff that I stop listening because
but they
I'm like,
do believe it.
they're so ridiculous. I mean, look at what's going on in Iran right now. Like, that's a theocracy. That's an actual authoritarian government, right? Like, whether you think the U.S. should get involved or not, like, they're actually cracking down on people for doing simple things.
But narrative is everything. And the world this woman lives in, the only thing she sees on social media is masked guys with guns beating people.
Yeah, it's
she doesn't see anything real, and she's never going to because she's insane. The left only functions because people are stupid enough to believe the narrative manipulation.
Absolutely.
There is a bright side to this, though, right? Because those videos are so scary.
Breakfast
I don't
Club
care.
2?
Hold on, because the left is so. I mean, because we put these videos out and the left is like sharing them and like calling it outrageous. There are a lot of people like self-deporting, and if you look at the numbers, by 2030, we will win lots of electoral, like the electoral map changes because of the demographic change. So maybe who cares if they all? Who cares?
Well,
if,
that's a forecast. And with the redistricting, we're going to have Democrats win this year, and then they're going to open up the borders, impeach Trump, put people in prison through subpoenas and contempt of Congress.
By then, correct?
Do you know what's interesting about this?
So what's going to happen is
Right.
when they get in and they start locking people up through congressional subpoenas, putting everybody in jail.
They will do that, yeah.
Then they're going to block Trump, disrupt everything he's doing, creating a messy last 2 years. Then they win in 2028, open up the borders, and they get 50 new seats. Then they pack the courts. They do everything they want to do.
It's over.
Just because we
If
have
they can
right
get back
now
in, it's over.
internal
Game over.
migration to Texas and Florida does not mean that will last by 2030, especially if they win the midterms.
There's a lot of Hollywood celebrities who are actually not conservative, who are not leftist,
Right.
but who are conservative. And they don't speak out. They don't speak out half as much as Kristen Stewart or Molly Ringwald or, Jane Fonda or whoever else. And I think that they don't speak out because they are concerned, like anybody else. They're concerned about their jobs or their standing or their status. They want to make sure that they can still go to the Oscars and the Golden Globes and show up and get dressed by Schiaparelli or whatever else. And I think that that's an issue too. There are so many conservative celebrities and figures who don't speak out. That's why it's so stunning to see Nicki Minaj show up and
Good
say
for
that
her, yeah.
she's Trump's biggest fan. And she's incredible, right? She's a very talented artist. She's very famous. All the rest of it, she's got a lot of barbs out there. People follow her. But why is there just one? Why don't we hear more from Adam Sandler
Because
and Kelsey Grammer
fear.
and the rest of
Yeah.
them? They're afraid. They're afraid.
But if you look Latinos
and
up,
that's
like-
sort of the thing. Like, if we have such a huge dominant culture of leftism, and then everybody else, and there's a lot of conservatives in Hollywood and stuff, and they're afraid, what is it that conservatives are doing wrong to say our culture, our perspective on culture, our perspective on America isn't good enough to speak up? It's not good enough to, express ourselves openly. That's crazy, because here we are talking about this stuff. People risk their lives. Tim can barely go out to eat, all of the rest of it. And then all of these celebrities, they're just like, hey, I just still want to live in my Malibu mansion and be left alone, so I'm not going to speak up. up. There's something going on there where the people who believe this stuff need to speak up. And it's the same thing that's been true for a long time. If people started speaking up about trans in like 2010, then we wouldn't have so many kids who have been mutilated. Like, things need to change in terms of that. Stop being afraid to speak your mind. There are more conservatives,
Listen,
and if they speak up, they are louder.
I need you guys to understand that white people are weak. That's just,
I agree with that.
I'm gonna lay it out there, and I'm gonna let it stew for a little bit to be as offensive as I can to the people. How dare you, Tim? My point is, it's only possible when you're weak. The left is strong. They're stupid. A lot of them are dumb, but man, are they strong. And if you think they're not, explain to me how they got all of the DEI period stuff, how they're still actively doing it, how they're taking over Virginia, how they're winning elections. They are not weak. And everybody, the right likes to look at the left and mock them and make fun of them for being dumb. Well, you're staring at the clowns and ignoring the infrastructure they have behind it. The reason why I say white people is because I hear these arguments from white nationalists about like how they like white people so much. And I'm like, well, how many other countries on the planet, how many countries have opened up their borders and allowed a whole bunch of, minorities to come in and basically displace their population? It's only the white countries.
There is this thing that white people do, though. Like, they get complacent. Like, even men, I see this in like white men a lot, right? You can like hit them. They kind of take it. And then all of a sudden they spaz. And when they do, it's like epic and tragic.
Well,
and then they
would
take over. And I'm waiting for that to hit,
White people were not
Is that the
weak.
Zoomer waffle?
Yeah, I agree. They,
Back in the
Don't push 'em.
last century, the Chinese, in Chinese eye, the strongest race was the white race because it's
and now look where they
imperialism,
are.
colonialism, and now it's weak because white people were made to believe that they're guilty of all this imperialism and colonialism.
But it's white liberals espousing these views and proselytizing this stuff.
Exactly.
It's not like, and to be fair, certainly our adversaries promote these ideas. But my point was not to bring up like a race thing, but it's to point out conservatives only lose because they are weak. And if you are offended by that statement and take it emotionally, you're weak. There is no problem. An MMA fighter who is asked, hey, do you want to fight this champion? If he goes, yeah, I'm super strong, despite not being strong, he gets crushed. No, the pros go, I better start training to make sure I'm strong enough. And when I look at what's going on in this country, I see the Republican Party is weak. The right doesn't have the organizational power to launch primaries the way the Democrats do. And so we keep getting these Republicans who go in and just say, slow down there, Democrats. And what are we looking at right now? Democrats have judges everywhere. They have tendrils in everything. Okay? By all means, you can talk about how the right got soldiers and they're built and they're tough and they're carved out of stone, but they don't have the infrastructure power. When it comes to the mechanisms of power, the right is weak. Getting stronger, doing
that's
better.
because they cheat and we play by the rules. We need to stop playing by the rules.
I think white guilt is just so toxic. It is just absolute. I think a lot of white people believe in that, even the conservatives.
Yeah.
And that is like really neutral the whole white, race, and they believe that they are guilty of a lot of things. Every race, every one of them committed the same kind of crime, and the white race is the only one that actually fought the war and ended slavery and all this, and then now we believe that white people are the problem.
I don't think that. I
Well,
like white people.
No,
and I'm
I
very
think a
proud
lot of
to be
white people
white.
believe it. That is the problem, and then that's why one of the reasons I feel like I need to say more, because I have a little bit safety, not too much, because Chinese are white adjacent, right?
In the DEI spectrum, you're above
exactly.
white people.
Yeah.
but still below everybody else.
Asians?
Below, yeah.
No.
The black community hates Asians.
I
least
mean,
in Philly.
hating a community doesn't mean above or below in terms of
know.
the structure. DEI views Asians as largely on top.
Well, no, weren't they were just counting Asians out of all the Harvard and the
Because they're too smart.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they score higher than white people.
They become
Well, and-
oppressors.
Right.
That's true also in the city contracts in New York City. And I'm really interested to see when the request for proposals comes out from the city government to see what it is that they're what their quotas are going to be for different racial groups to build the new affordable housing and whatever else. But in the city, for engineering, for quotas, for city projects, Asians don't count as a minority because there are too many Asians in engineering fields, and so they don't count for the DEI.
Is it offensive or is it a bannable offense to say that East Asians are superior to white people?
I don't care. I don't care what anybody says.
We
Is
should
that
care
better?
though. We should care a little bit, you know. Like everybody's allowed to say, like, you know, every other race is like
Every
oh,
race is allowed to be allowed to be proud.
So you know, what, I want to. No, we can be the best.
No, I think a race is not one race is not superior than another, but I think one culture can be superior than the other. I think West is absolutely more superior.
Is there
culture.
any evidence that Asians are better at math than everybody?
Yeah, they are.
I think so. I think so.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think so.
My
But
mom's
they did
Korean.
not
She makes math
create a
videos.
culture that benefit everyone.
That's true. I'm not
So
joking.
that's why they do so well in the West.
They prioritize education.
Yeah,
We don't.
So culture is how I measure a race, and are they successful? Are they superior? Western
And,
culture is
Well,
superior.
I agree on the culture thing, and everyone knows the highest form of music is K-pop, which just means the Koreans are the best. That's it. Yeah, get you metal.
I don't
You don't
like
like
K-pop
K-pop?
either.
No.
She's like, I ain't
What about
touching that.
anime? We like anime here.
Ew, no.
It's not
Yeah, it's
real
great.
art.
Gross.
It's not
Yeah.
real art.
Japan's got some weird stuff about them. They certainly do, and they didn't have more babies though. That's for one thing.
So do
For
we.
as horny as
We
that
don't have
country
to
is.
argue about it. Everyone won't come here. So you know,
Well, I mean, we
So
have Las
true.
Vegas. You know, everybody just wants to go to Las Vegas. They want to get a
No.
private
I don't
room
wanna
at,
go
at
to Las
MGM.
Vegas.
Everybody wants
then
to come
Atlantic
here
City.
and get on
I'd
Social
rather
Security.
die than go to Las Vegas.
What do you
It's
think
like-
of AC? You like AC?
No, I don't like it. Like it's like all that is like drunks and degenerates 90% of the time. And you can't spend more than 3 days in Las Vegas without feeling disgusting. True.
But what do you mean? Like, how do you like disgusting? Why or
Just
like
in
how?
general, like you just feel. Ugh.
No, I don't know. That's just
Very
you.
capitalist place.
Yeah.
I just want like you. It's all like you see prostitutes and people losing their life savings, and there's all these. Everybody's drunk, and it's just like very.
I watched
Yep.
this video where this homeless lady said that what she does is she goes to the casinos, and women will buy really expensive things, and they'll forget their bags all the time. And so there's homeless people that will they try and look decently enough to walk around unnoticed, and a bag is lying around. They'll walk up and just grab the bag and leave, and they made $3,000 just
Yeah.
like that. It's a wild place. I think the economy is fake right now because of things like this. Because of, you've got a mix of people who have no jobs and then other people who make obscene amounts of money doing fake, weird things on the internet. Like,
Definitely, there's like
Yeah.
selling their bathwater and stuff. Those people.
yeah, I'm like, where is the root
feet-
of the
the
money to
feet
buy
people.
bathwater?
I just
Yeah.
found
Like these OnlyFans women who are just like, guys are just dumping all of their money
I
into
don't
whores.
understand that at all because
That's why silver's at 120
Because
bucks.
on top of everything else, they're fake horse. Like you don't even get anything
Sean
from
that
it.
works for us just told me about the pantyhose thing with the flight attendants.
What's that?
Apparently, I didn't know this was like a whole sub market, but there's a market for worn pantyhose of flight attendants.
My sweet summer child. You have no idea, do you?
That is
Naughty
gross.
Bits. Do you guys remember Naughty Bits?
No.
No.
Bro, go back to the 90s. There was a website that was built just on women selling their junk. Like women were selling the contents of their bathroom garbage for $500.
That is so nasty and disgusting.
That's what men are into.
People are so degenerate.
This is why we should not give in to our most base desires. You know, we should not.
Yeah, women
We really have
would,
to fight it. It's not easy, but you have to fight it.
Guys would sell stuff on that site too, but it was almost entirely women selling like discarded underwear and things like that.
Women don't want to buy men's dirty underwear.
Nope, they don't. But men
They don't want to pick it
do.
up off the bathroom floor. They don't
And
want
that's why there's OnlyFans women who are millionaires. You know.
And that's what I'm talking about is the worst of the Western culture. Yeah. But at the same time, I think that we should really go to our roots. And this year's 250th anniversary, I think, I myself I have a plan. I want to visit most of the sites, especially I want to visit the homes and all grave sites of the signers and of Declaration of Independence. And I've done that for 3 states, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia, and I'm going north. And I learned so much, and I learned to appreciate. And then also at the same time, I realized how far we have gone from the founding.
Let's jump to this story. We've got this from Right Angle News. Conservatives are now calling on Trump to sue Canadian broadcast network CTV after political commentator Kathleen Monk went on the air and claimed Trump is kidnapping and killing his own citizens instead of lowering prices.
Americans are watching as President Trump chooses to kidnap and kill his own citizens as opposed to lowering prices.
As opposed to lowering
Canadians
prices.
are watching that in horror and want our government to chart a new path and a new way forward.
Wow. And then we have this. This is interesting from Juno News. Exclusive. Names matching Canadian politicians appear in anti-ICE protest donor leak. There's only
Shocking.
one solution. We must invade Canada.
Take it over, make it a territory.
Subjugate.
I don't want any of those people. They're all crazy.
No, they don't
can't
vote.
vote.
She said territory.
Territory.
Yeah, I just don't want any of those people. I don't want them anywhere near us. Like didn't
but
that
hold
man
on.
just
Canadians are
Look,
great.
they
What do
already,
you think?
they already
Wife
live.
'cause he
They
felt
already,
like it?
hey,
They
they
already
already live
live
within
here.
100 miles of
Man,
our
we got that
border.
Vermont.
They already live
Some of
within
our best comedians are Canadian.
They all, no, they're not ours. They already live. They
They
all
are
live
now.
within
They
100
are now,
miles
Phil.
of our border. So
Leave
if
them
we
over
let,
there.
if they became a territory, they would all come down to the United States to get away from the cold.
Yeah, I don't want them here.
But they still can't vote because it's territory.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. They infect your culture with their
No,
nonsense.
stop. Yep,
Yeah, it's
Dan Aykroyd infected our culture with nonsense.
Think
Come
about,
on.
Well, I
think
mean,
about how many
technically,
more
Dan Aykroyd
leftists
did
are
do a
up
lot
there,
of
and
nonsense.
how
But
So
he's
many of
funny.
them,
He's
yes.
hilarious.
He's hilarious.
No, they're going to be in our. They're going to be in our schools and our institutions and making friends with our kids. No, I want
Making
nothing
movies.
to do
They're
with them.
come on.
No, I'm out. No,
I think Canada is worth saving, but we have to save
no, I don't
America
want to.
first.
Nope. Yeah,
I think
agree.
I'm with you.
I don't.
Yeah,
I don't
I'm
want to
with
save.
you.
I don't care about Canada. I don't care about Canada. I don't want to
But-
save them. I just want to
It's
save
right
us.
there.
But I want
Nah.
their maple syrup.
I want
They
a
have
lot
it
of their
in
stuff.
Vermont.
They don't have that much
Not
in
as
Vermont.
much, yeah.
do.
No.
What was it Viva
It's
was
enough.
saying
Canada
last night?
has a
70%?
strategic maple syrup reserve.
That is smart. Well, we have
Yeah.
the cheese. We do have the government cheese.
I don't know that we do that anymore.
Yeah, we still have some storage, I'm pretty sure.
It must have been spoiled by now.
I don't know. Cheese lasts a long time.
I guess so. They age it.
Yeah.
Now the government's like, actually,
Could
our
you
government
imagine
cheese is now
aged
expensive
American
because
cheese? Aged American cheese.
it's aged to perfection.
That's not quite
Who,
the same.
who do these Canadians think they are, huh? Insulting our president.
They think they're
What do you think about
Americans,
him
but
suing?
snobby.
I don't. Who cares?
That's what I think. I think who cares?
There's
Do it
how
up.
many people live in that country? 30 million or something.
Yeah, I don't care.
It's like LA. Yeah, Canada itself is just one like cold,
I like Canada.
maple syrup farm.
And I like Canadians.
I've been to
And
Canada.
I think their country is worth saving, but I think
I
they've-
like them
I
too.
think they've
They
got to
have to
save
save
it
it.
themselves.
Yeah.
Because that's
I
what
like
that's the
them
only way
when-
to save a country. You can't have America go in and save countries because that's not how it works. If America does it, then we're just the imperialist power. But I mean, if
No,
you want
I
to save your
mean-
country, you have to do it yourself.
We are in danger ourselves.
Right.
So we have to save ourselves. And
Yes.
then we set the example that West can be saved and it must be saved.
That's right. Put your own mask on first.
If
before you
Canadian
help someone else.
politicians are
Correct.
funding leftist insurgency in this country, then there's got to be action for
Well,
it.
there's an issue with that for sure.
They don't
Yeah.
want to be saved.
I don't care about saving. I'm saying if their politicians are actively funding insurgency in this country, Trump's got to sanction them or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cut them off. My proposal is we cut Canada off from all trade for 2 years.
I'm fine with that.
Cut them off because you know what's funny? They say things like, "Oh, but
Isn't
you
that, like,
guys do
starving
trade
the-
with us too." Like, there's a lot of
Well,
Americans who do trade with you, and they would be negatively impacted by this. But I'm going to say it again. We had a Canadian, and he was like, "But you guys get your aluminum from us." And then I was like, "Okay," so I looked it up. The only reason we do is because uniparty shills cut a deal to dissolve our refineries and then do a fake trade deal with Canada. Canada has refineries for aluminum, but they don't have bauxite mines. They import the raw materials, refine it. We could do it here for cheaper. It's a fake trade deal. The point of all this is liberal economic order BS, where you create hard trade lines. So they destroyed our manufacturing and refining capability to force us into a trade deal with Canada. I say no. We have no reason to be dependent upon other people for fake reasons. We have bauxite mines in Louisiana. We can import whatever else we need and refine it here and create good American jobs. So how about Canada? You want to play games? I say we just close off all trade for 2 years.
For 2
Canada
years,
should-
they will learn how much they rely
Well,
on United
they should
States.
just
They will
figure out how to
appreciate.
support themselves.
Yeah.
If they want to be an independent nation, as they are, if they want to remain that way, then they should not be reliant on anything from us, and we should not be for them. Because again, if they are funding insurgency in this country, cut them off.
I agree. I don't care who starves either.
You know, you can grow food in Canada, right?
No, Libby said,
sometimes.
she was like, but then lots of people, I don't care. That's all
They're not
them.
going to starve. They have long summers up there.
Yeah,
You know, in
grow your
Alaska,
own
they
food.
grew the record watermelon because the summer is so long, you know, and the day is so long that the
It was
plants
the
get
pumpkin.
massive.
And the pumpkin, too. And then
Yeah.
they gave the giant pumpkin to a polar bear, and that polar bear was just in heaven.
Huh.
Yeah, it was cute.
All right.
I watch Instagram at night. What
Polar
can I
bears
say?
are
It was a-
omnivores?
It was a polar bear that really liked this giant pumpkin.
Huh.
Yeah, it was cute.
Well, there you go.
I like polar bears.
I'm sick of this argument that for too long, the United States has been acting like a snooty rich kid with lots of money who thinks he's better than everybody. So he starts giving his money away because he's so magnanimous.
Well,
like
and-
sooner or later, someone's got to replenish the trust.
But here's the thing, too. I mean, it's not just that we've been giving the money away because we're magnanimous. We've been giving the money away in hopes to buy friends, and our allies hate us. And that's the
Can't
thing
buy
that makes
friends.
me frustrated. It's like even the allies,
Yep.
Canada hates us, right? They hate Trump. They hate the whole 51st state thing. They think we're trash. A lot of Canadians don't want to come here anymore as tourists because they think we're terrible.
And you want these
have a
people
lot
here?
of the you have a lot of Europeans hate America, you know, but they're perfectly happy to take our missiles and benefit from our defense and benefit from all of the wealth that we spread around, you know, that now is apparently like not really propped up with that much. And so I think that's something too. It's like why are we spending so much time with people who hate us? If you go to a party and everybody hates you, you leave.
Yep.
You don't stick it
And you
out.
don't help them. You don't provide their beer.
Right. You're definitely not
Yeah.
buying a beer.
No.
Look,
what
you
are we
know,
doing?
When
What are we
people,
doing?
if you're just trying to buy friends, like
Like a fraternity?
they end up
end up hating
just not
you.
respecting you. You know, people follow strength. Human beings have always followed strength. So the United States needs to continue to do basically do what Trump has been doing, at least on the international stage, and you know, push for deals that are good for the United States. Continue to encourage other countries to put their own countries first, because that's what countries should do. And I think that that'll end up having.
Well, they are
better...
putting their country first because they're taking money from us and doing it that way.
Europe is not
Not
putting
really.
their own individual countries first. They're
Oh,
putting
that's
Europe
true.
first.
That's true.
So
They're
they
a
should
nightmare.
put the
but by
countries.
stealing our money, they're putting their agenda and their interests first.
Well, I mean, yes, Europe is, but they're not. It's not about.
Their
They're
people,
not
correct.
nationalists. They're not saying
for
that their
sure.
own
They should
countries
be.
are
They're
good.
destroying their own country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things is that you look at it, all those countries were ruled by communists.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
I
look,
want benevolent dictators back. So, like, you know,
yeah, I know. I don't hate the idea, but
thank you.
I just find it so ironic that now it's the West exporting communists to the East, you know, to countries that were former communist countries. And it was those countries that pushing back. And this is just so sad that after the Cold War, and I absolutely think that the EU is yesterday's USSR.
I hope you're right. I would like to see more countries kind of focus on their own, their own people and their own populations. This idea that people are just, the countries are just economic zones and people are just cogs and they can, you can just replace one with another. That's just not true. It's blank slateism, and it's just absolutely not true. Like, individuals matter. The abilities that people have matter. So the idea that you can just say, oh, we'll let anyone into our country and it'll be the same. It's not going to be the same. Different cultures have different ways of doing things, and that's perfectly fine. That's okay. But you don't want to ruin your country because another group of people looks at your country and says, they're fools and they'll give us unlimited benefits from the government, so we're going to move over there and just get onto their social programs. That'll destroy your country. I mean, look, every Western country is in some kind of significant deficit, and it's not getting any better. So,
Well, we don't have the population to sustain it, so it's going to be real interesting. And I wonder
robots.
Yeah, well, robots don't buy cheeseburgers. So we're still going to see economic collapse. And actually, interesting thing, I just saw a post that Tesla is ending production of the Model S and X to make room for Optimus robots.
Really?
Well, that's what I saw on X so far, and I haven't pulled up any of the articles or verification yet, but we can see where it's going. There's not going to be people, so we're going to see a lot of businesses go under. The economy is going to get real weird. I mean, let's just be real. The economy's weird right now. Gold's at what, 5,500?
55.
Silver's at 120.
Oh, it's up even to that.
Yeah.
Yesterday it was 115.
Metals are behaving like crypto.
Yo,
it's
that's
insane.
crazy. I can't believe how high silver is. It's just apocalyptic.
55.45
Yeah, that's
for
wild.
gold, 117 for silver right now.
Jeez.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
nuts.
just a few days ago, it was 108.
Like I said, if you look at the
Yeah, it's been
man,
it's been
I should
jacking
just
up.
get rid of. You should not. I don't want to give anybody advice. I shouldn't be holding U.S. dollars. That's terrifying.
I mean,
You try to mix it up. I got a bunch of silver, but I've got cash too, and it's just like I look at my bank account and the number stays the same, and I'm just like, it's worthless. It's wild.
look, if there's nothing wrong
What's
with having
oil gonna
gold.
hit?
I don't know. There's nothing wrong with having physical gold and silver. And again, it's not advice, but it's like physical gold and silver has always been like a store of value. It's like taking your dollar and putting it in an inflation-proof box. It's the value. The value is always stayed the same versus the dollar and stuff. So there's nothing wrong with buying gold coins.
Silver is money. That's it. Silver was money before, it's money now, and then we created the fiat system and told everybody not to trade precious metals. Our coins used to be silver.
I mean, we outlawed it for a while.
That's right.
Yeah.
Made everybody deposit their gold. You can't have it. You got to use our paper fake garbage.
They can have it.
That's right.
But you can go. I mean, you can
I bet
go
Fort
to.
Knox is empty.
I bet it is too.
Like, weren't we supposed to get an audit from Trump and he never did it?
Yeah,
talked
I was
about
just
it.
thinking that. They were supposed to go there with some cameras and
I
show
bet
us
they
what
did.
was in
That's
there.
why gold's.
I
They
bet they
probably
did. and
showed
there's
up.
nothing in there.
They brushed some cobwebs off and they went inside and they were like, oh, someone stole all of this in 1950.
That's why gold's so expensive. They're buying it up to replace the gold in Fort Knox. They're
Or,
going to melt it down
There's a
into
lot of things that haven't
the
been
bars.
done.
yeah, man. Well, let's talk about, let's jump to this story from the New York Post. Hazmat crew reveals what liquid attacker sprayed on Rep. Ilhan Omar and apple cider vinegar.
Why? Because it smells bad.
It does
Well,
smell bad.
according to everyone on the right, it's because she staged it.
I don't
Maybe
think
it
she
was because
staged it.
maybe it was
I
because
don't
she
think
had
so
a
either.
stain
I think
on her
the-
shirt, and they just wanted to get
So
the stain off.
two things can be true at the same time. Like it can be staged by the left, but she doesn't have to know about it. If she doesn't know, then you get an honest reaction from her. But the guy that was there was paid by Democrats or whatever. He's a Democrat or whatever,
I think the response shows.
But she also has plausible
no planning.
deniability too.
Anybody who planned this out, I think, would have responded differently. The most effective stunt you could pull off, if you were going to stage something, what you'd do is a guy would jump up and spray you, and then security would grab you and pull you away from the event, leaving everybody scared and confused. You'd let him stew for a few minutes before having someone come out to the podium and say, we are rushing so-and-so to the hospital. We don't know what this chemical was. It has a strange smell. We believe this may have been a chemical attack. Then, after about 15, 20 minutes, you have someone tweet out, so-and-so is currently in the emergency room. Condition is unknown. If Ilhan Omar fled, this story would have been 100 times bigger. But she stood there like an idiot. With all due respect, nobody should be attacking anybody. But she got sprayed with a liquid and she just stands there.
Yeah,
She's like,
she
I'm
just-
going to finish. It's just like, get whatever that is off you. Now, a lot of people think that's suspect.
I think it's kind of brave. Like I think that would be my action. Like I would probably sit there and flinch. Like I
While
want
your
to go
flesh
fight.
just slops off
I
because
would
they
be
sprayed
worried.
you with
I would be
acid.
worried that it's an acid attack. That would be my
Yeah, it
first
would go
thought.
through my mind, but not necessarily
probably
right
just,
away.
like-
I think I would try to. I would try to fight. That would be my natural instinct. So
I do wanna-
I kind of gave her props for that.
She
But-
tried
but-
to chase that guy.
Yeah, she did go
But
after.
But I want to.
Yeah, I like that.
A few points that I think lend itself to it may have been staged is he didn't spray her in the face. He sprayed her in the chest,
Exactly.
which is weird. And additionally, there is an argument that anybody who got sprayed with an unknown liquid is going to immediately try and get that liquid
That's
up,
what
and
I
she
would have
doesn't.
done. Yeah.
So
She probably
considering
smelled it.
right, so
Right,
but
I mean,
but
it's a
the one
notable
thing I
smell.
think is the strangest is that he had a clear opportunity to spray her face,
Exactly.
and he did not.
Yeah. If I try to spray someone in the face.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Face. Yeah, I think she was probably just like, what was that? And then, yo, what are you doing? Like, that was the initial reaction. I mean, I've been around those like milkshaking attacks and stuff with Tommy and all. And like, everybody's like, his reaction then was to fight too. It wasn't to like run away and get his clothes off, even though acid attacks are common in the UK.
If it's vinegar, you can smell it. It's really
it's
strong.
admittedly,
Yeah.
I wouldn't know what the smell was, but I would probably be like, yeah, what are you doing? Would be my initial reaction. And then worry about what the chemical was. I'm just saying that's what I think.
Well, she's already fundraising off of it.
Of course she is.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
she
I
is.
mean-
But I think that you're right though that if it was she was in on it, they would try to make it as dramatic as possible.
Yeah,
And
she'd
they didn't do
disappear
that.
for a half an hour.
Right.
Everyone on the internet would be like, Ilhan Omar was just attacked and rushed to the hospital. We don't know what's going on. Every single person would be calling people. They'd get on the phone, be like, this is crazy. We don't know what's going on. But because she stood there, there was no big news. It was a big news cycle. We talked about it, but it's like, she got sprayed and then she stood there. Had she disappeared, it would have been like, could this be a serious attack? Could it have been acid? So I think I don't think it was staged. But the question
not
is
staged by her, but maybe
perhaps.
other people.
But who benefits from this? A lot of people are claiming this guy's got like lefty family and kids, but that doesn't mean anything.
No.
I will say this certainly, any move like this does nothing to benefit the right, so why do it? If you're anti-Ilhan Omar, why help her?
No, I think that I legit think that it was a Democrat that did it. I think that it was intended to, stir up the already chaotic situation in the country. And I don't think she was in on it. I think he was just like, oh, I'll do this. And
Yeah, LC said it's all because of the hatred and hate language from Vance and from Trump. She already said that.
yeah, I mean,
That's what they want.
this is the best thing that could have happened to her. She did nothing bad happens to her, and she's going to make
She
$1
needs to
million
be
out
the
of
next
it.
Well, why
person
isn't he
deported.
getting charged federally? Has he been charged federally?
He was arrested and he was facing counts of, I think,
Assault in the third degree at the
assault.
state level.
Yeah, but
Where
there
federal
was,
charges?
we didn't see federal charges, but we should see federal charges because she's a federal representative.
Yeah.
Attacking a member of Congress is a very
that's
serious
for
crime.
real. Yeah.
Funny.
So
Yeah,
again,
FBI
a lot
not
of people
doing
think
anything.
it's highly suspect.
Yeah,
I do.
it's
You
suspect.
think it was staged? I think,
I think
was
it's
it
staged.
Tuberville who said it was all fake?
Yeah, and also Trump kind of said that.
Yeah, Trump said
Look
it's
at
all
that. Look
it's a
at that,
fraud.
Did not even try.
I mean, I got to be honest, it does look very fake.
Yeah.
The little
Yeah.
like fake
but then
punch
her hands
thing.
were shaking a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't think she was in on it, but I think that the guy.
I kind of liked her reaction. Good for her. She looks like she punches like a girl.
But
She didn't look like an
actually,
effective
check
punch.
this out. Check this out. Watch her left hand.
Her wrist needs to.
Watch her left hand when she
Straighten
gets sprayed. Which will happen any second. See how she like pulls her hand up?
Yeah.
I don't think she was aware it was going to happen.
Yeah, I don't either.
No, she wasn't.
But
she
I,
wasn't
but I
in
also
on
don't understand why he didn't spray her face.
it. I mean, like I said,
It is weird.
I don't
He
think
just goes for her
Yeah. Chest.
chest.
And it's weird that he used a syringe. Like, what?
Easy to conceal.
I guess.
Easy to conceal and then just squirt it.
He could have just had. He had a water bottle that he was acting all weird with. He could have just went
That's
like
hard
that.
to aim. Yeah, you
Bigger
could splash
radius.
somebody. You could.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I can tell you that everybody's insane, and that when we look at the violence that's going on, you get these periods where there's like extreme violence, and then things calm down for a bit, and then as soon as it calms down a little bit, everybody acts like, oh, you know what, I was wrong.
That never
the
even
country's
happened.
not going to fall apart. Then the next time violence happens, it's the most psychotic thing imaginable. Like we literally have a guy in Ohio campaigning on he will kill Trump.
Yep.
Like we're at the point where it's like vote for me and he's gonna go kill Trump, I guess.
But
Well,
that's
and it
campaigning.
used to be vote for me and I will prosecute Trump, and now it's vote for me, I will kill
They gotta
Trump.
one up it.
Yeah, they got to make it
But you
bigger.
have regular citizens like these nurses. And
Yeah.
a lot of people are doing that. If they could get rid of us, they would do that too.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, look, there's going to be if and when Democrats take power again, there's going to be a lot of effort put into putting conservatives in jail just for being conservative.
That is the history of communism.
Yeah.
And the people just don't know. And they did exactly what we're afraid that the left might do. They did it. They did it. And just one story. And after the Civil War, they defeated the nationalists and kicked them out to Taiwan. Okay. But a lot of people stayed behind because there's millions of them. millions of them were persecuted and millions of them were executed just because they used to work for the nationalist government. And I have uncle, his in-law was executed just because he was a small town mayor. That's it.
Mayor, wow.
Mayor, and a very small town. And
We are far down a
executed.
very
Yeah.
scary road.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people realize it.
No,
they don't know
And
the
the thing
history.
is, it's if you look and you just like all you have to do is like look at the way that they treated Trump and the things that they did to Trump's lawyers and all that stuff. Like that, all the things that they did to the January 6th rioters or people that weren't even rioting January 6th, and the people that don't believe that there's anything nefarious going on in the left, they'll sit there and say, well, Trump did bad things. And, oh, well, the rioters did bad things. And then you bring up, well, you had riots throughout the whole year. If it wasn't for the fact that we had a year of riots because of George Floyd, the people that went to January 6th wouldn't have thought we can get away with rioting. It would have been a totally different situation. But because of the way that the left was treated, the right thought, well, we can do it too. Well, guess what? Here comes the boot.
I don't think so. I think that the Democrats let J6 happen because it's the perfect psychological play. Let
Nancy
the rowdy
Pelosi
right
loved it.
rampage and then scream, help, help, I'm being repressed.
They encouraged it and had agents in there to provoke people.
Said it before, I'll say it again. If Trump had stood down on May 29th and let the left ransack the White House, he would have won his second term, and we'd probably be in a third Republican term.
Maybe
perhaps.
maybe the next time the left actually does riot, they should just let them do whatever they're going to do and then take that as a PR stunt, or
Well, it's exactly what happened
like-
on January 6th. Trump said he wanted National Guard, and they didn't do it.
No, I'm
So
saying
just like let them invade, just let them go into the Hilton.
well,
Like just step aside,
Yeah, oh,
step
but
aside,
but
and
yeah.
let them go in.
Yeah.
yeah. No,
Imagine what
I'm
would have
saying
happened if they
that
actually
would have been
ransacked an
really
entire Hilton.
fascinating. And it took two guys to just hold them off, but maybe they just should have stepped aside and let
Yeah.
them go in.
I mean,
and rip
nobody-
the elevators down and destroy things. Set
Look,
fires.
But the right doesn't play the game this way. They play it very straightforward, and the left is engaging in subversive tactics and subterfuge.
Right.
No, I
That's right.
want them to be scared. Like we're scared to be arrested. No. We send every single ICE agent in there. We arrest every single person that's blowing a whistle or getting in the way. Get rid of them all and literally
J6
lock them
something
up.
has to happen
J6
first.
arrests were quiet on purpose because they didn't want the American public to see how heavy-handed they were being.
Yeah, but it's like a different setup. We are afraid of them, right? They need to be afraid of us, and they're not.
But there
They're
has to
not
be-
going to be
there has to be
I know.
if you
catalysts.
arrest them.
Yes,
They're-
they will be.
the game being played by the left, they are organized, they have studied, they have high-profile wealthy donors, and they are begging you to kick in and go do a kettle and round people up. Their strategy is actually, we want you to overreact. Now, I will clarify this with, I agree with you in the regards to Trump should have invoked the Insurrection Act to prevent any of that from happening in the first place. Go in, National Guard on the street corners, smiles and handshakes. At this point, having this half measure where you let CBP get attacked by random lunatics is insane. You can't do half measures. That's why I said the other day, Trump's options are stand down or suit up. And what did he choose? He chose stand down.
Yeah, but like, why do you think his numbers are up with Latinos? Right? He's up 8
No,
points.
they're way down.
No, there's just a poll out. I just read it from.
Well, there's two
Rasmussen.
polls.
He was up 8 points, 53% with them.
in Rasmussen.
Yeah.
I just read another poll that said he's at his lowest point among Hispanic voters.
I don't know. I guess we're getting conflicting reports then.
I did see numerous reports showing that he's got a high approval rating relative to all of their second-term presidents, and that immigration efforts have a net favorability, and CBP has a net favorability.
Yeah.
I think
I think people are sick of this. They're sick of their stuff being bashed in. They're looking at that cop with his finger bit off, and like, what are these wackos
they're not
doing?
looking. Nobody knows that happened.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm looking at
sharing it.
normies saying Trump executed an innocent protester.
Yeah, I think
That's
we're not
why this
winning.
video is so bad for them, and they're freaking out because narrative is everything. If I can go to a normie and be like, "Oh, remember?" So here's where
But
we're
who's
currently
showing
at.
this? Just us, right?
Showing what?
They're trying to hide this, and we're the only ones seeing this too. Just like the
Exactly.
finger.
That's the point. Narrative is everything, which is why I said do something that is undeniable. So if, for instance, the left was allowed to ransack that Hilton and just burn it to the ground and destroy it, everyone in the country notices what they're doing. But so long as you keep holding them down, they get every PR opportunity possible where they're, help, I'm being beaten by an evil Gestapo. And at the same time, you don't actually see any long-lasting damage from the left. That's why I said stand down or suit up. And Trump keeps doing half measures.
You know what's interesting, though? We haven't seen a ton of ICE violence against people. We've seen a couple of instances with Renee Brown and Alex Pretti. We saw the
Renee Good?
Yeah. Why did I keep doing that? Because her middle name's
been a long
Nicole,
day.
and I keep thinking Nicole Brown. I don't know why. It's just like a glitch in my brain. But yeah, there's Renee Good. There's Alex Pretti. We see that. We saw, a whole bunch of kerfuffle about that. The kid, the 5-year-old,
Which is fake, yeah.
and the guy who was taken out of his home, and then they sent him back because previously to him being there were other people there who were wanted. We've seen that, but there are so many protesters out there in the street. There are so many agitators. Why don't we have more footage of ICE brutalizing people? If this is happening so constantly and they always have their cell phones in their hands, where's all the video?
Well, I mean, that's the point. Like, that's the point I made earlier. Like, they say, oh, this is so terrible. ICE is doing this and Donald Trump is doing that. He's a fascist, blah, blah, blah. But the reality just doesn't line up with it. Like the few handful of videos that you see where ICE is putting hands on protesters, it's never like real significant stuff. You don't see them pounding on them, kicking them. You see them throwing them down and trying to take them into custody. You don't see. Nothing that we've seen looks like the what was his name from the 90s? The guy that LAPD beat up.
Rodney King.
Rodney King. Yeah, nothing looks like the Rodney King.
Yeah.
Beating. Nothing comes even close to that. So the idea that there are these heavy-handed thugs that are beating people, blah blah blah, it's like it's just not true. But it doesn't matter because, like Tim's point, it's all narrative and it's all creating the situation.
Now they call it it's a state violence. Mm-hmm. And then they played it over and over, and people were saying, "Yeah, it is Trump's fault. It's because always." Happened under Trump.
But this is what we always do. We always do this, right? We don't want it to look bad. We don't have the optics. But why can't we have peace through strength domestically, just like we do abroad? Like, I really think that we keep doing the same thing over and over again.
Stand down or suit up. Trump needs to invoke the insurrection act, go in, stop all of this, then come out and proudly say, we have stopped the violence. But they're doing half measures where CBP is going out without support, being surrounded by 50 people, fights break out, and then a guy with a gun gets shot, and the left says, Trump's Gestapo murdered an innocent man.
I agree, it's a mess.
And then Trump pulls Bovino out. They are miserable at this game. They have no idea how to play.
Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating.
Let's jump to this story from Politico. FBI raids Atlanta area elections office amid Trump's push to relitigate 2020 election. The action comes after Trump promised that individuals would be prosecuted soon related to the 2020 election. This is wild. The FBI executed a search warrant at Fulton County Elections Office outside Atlanta on Wednesday, according to a spokesperson for the agency, which comes amid Trump's push, blah, blah, blah. We get it. Georgia Secretary of State Office and Fulton County's Elections Office did not immediately respond. It looks like, here we go, the FBI agents are here to get the 2020 ballots. Fulton County Clerk Shay Alexander told the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, they're all here, trucks and everything. So that's what Cash and Dan were working on, huh?
I hope they go to Philly next. Remember them putting up like the...
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was wild.
Yeah.
I mean, if they can produce evidence that the election of 2020 was stolen, I think that it's legitimate to say everything that Biden done, or everything that Biden got, every executive order, all the auto pen stuff, all of it should be rescinded.
Void.
All of it's void because...
Yeah, they'll never do that.
I mean,
they think you can make an argument that they should, and they should, but they won't.
I mean, I don't know what it would be.
This is a heavy move.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm proud of it.
This is serious.
And it takes more than a year. How much time do they need in order to get all of those? And by 2028.
I agree. Investigations take time, especially when you're combing through mounds and mounds of evidence. I mean, just think about the amount of discovery in just like a regular case. So I get that it takes time. I wish that it would happen sooner. I feel like we should have had this for a really long time, but I'm happy that it's being done. It's one of the positive things that are coming out of the FBI.
So many things. January 6th, we don't know. Right? Yeah. COVID, we don't know. There's just so
Where's
many
the
things.
information on Trump Shooter? I haven't heard anything about him at all.
Exactly.
Thomas Matthew Crooks, we still don't know anything about
Nothing.
him.
Zero.
Right. Yeah.
Except that his house was wiped down.
And he had no silverware in the house, right? Wasn't it
Bizarro.
that?
Yep.
Or like no forks or anything?
Yeah, like everything. It's honestly, it's getting, it's actually making me like, I want to be like a trust the plan person. And I really want to back Trump because I've loved him for so long. But I'm getting really tired of like making excuses on why things aren't happening over and over again. It's getting,
And a lot of
to be
people
a
keep
lot.
making excuses. They were claiming Trump didn't surrender in Minnesota, despite the fact we have reports now that CBP is saying they've been ordered not to arrest non-criminal illegals.
Yeah, that's horrible.
So Trump pulls Bovino out. He reassigns Noam, sends in Homan, negotiates with Tim Walz and Frey. And you got Trump supporters going like, yeah, we won. Meanwhile, CBP is like, we've been ordered not to arrest non-criminal illegals anymore, just like when we were under Biden.
And the other
Okay,
thing too is they're like,
strength.
I was complaining about the Bovino move. Even if like you weren't happy with his performance, you don't like tell them that. You like put him in, leave him in there. You assign somebody else to do the work. But people were like, oh, you're not happy that Homan's in there? No, I am happy that Homan's in there. But you just gave them a W, right? Like you're admitting that we are organizing something wrong. You don't want to give them any type of, you don't want to give them an inch because they take like 16 miles. No, we should have had. Like, I'm happy that Homan's there, but these orders that are coming out of there, it's totally mismanaged. I think it's a total L.
I think, like I said last night, I think that it was that there are going to be changes made. I think Kristi Noem's going to end up going. I know Trump said that there were senators that are loosely right leaning.
Why they put a woman in charge in the first place is beyond me.
I don't know. But
Trump's put all women in charge.
It's ridiculous. Look at Pam Bondi. She's doing terrible
His
too.
chief of staff's a woman.
And apparently
DHS
she's a
woman.
nightmare.
DOJ woman.
I'm tired of it. Like
He's got a Berlusconi thing going on.
we
Trump, get
gotta
rid of the
go.
ladies.
It's enough.
It's too
already.
much. I'm not surprised though. Trump is he likes women. He wants to be surrounded by women.
Okay.
He does.
And then when they don't do what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, well, you know what I think it is? The first time around, he didn't surround himself with women. And I wonder if he was like, I should just get women because they'll do what I tell them to do.
It's
But they're not.
Republican
But they're
DEI.
not.
I don't
Or
think
they-
so.
or
It
they
is
just
kind
can't.
of a DEI. They have to feel like they have to put women. They have to put this and this DEI.
Yeah, maybe Trump was just DEI. He was like, I think women deserve a chance.
He just wanted to see those binders full of women. You know?
I mean, they
He
are
wanted
pretty
to-
hot, the ones he picks for the most part. So, like, maybe he likes looking at them, but like, it's not helping us.
Well,
Kristi
how
Noem's
old-
real hot,
for-
right? But she's
I disagree.
Ice Barbie.
Pam Bondi
think she's
for
pretty
a
hot.
60. She's 60, right?
yeah, she's hot too for 60.
She looks great for 60.
Mm-hmm.
With all due respect to Kristi Noem, I don't say this to be intentionally mean to her, but she looks like an old one with tons of plastic surgery, and that's just very unattractive. I mean, there are people out there that like it. I saw a really
she's
funny
funny.
post where a woman was getting Botox, and she asked the doctor, how much younger will it make me look? And he says, it won't make you look younger. It'll make you look like an old woman with Botox.
Yeah, we'll probably filler, but yeah.
No, I think that's exactly right. I mean, you can look old, right? Because you're aging, or you can look kind of weird, but you're not going to look young.
Yeah. I think you just look weird.
I think, yeah, you look weird.
Pam Bondi
So I think about
Has
that
had
too.
work done, and she
Oh,
looks
for
good.
sure. I mean, yeah, she looks good for being 60. It's surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah. But plastic surgery is just generally disgusting.
Yes, it's very disgusting.
Yeah.
And they do so many weird things, like the thing where they do that stuff to your cheeks and they take all the fat
Buccal
out
fat
of your
removal?
cheek. The buccal fat. I think Jennifer Welch is really big on that.
I think that
Right?
I think that there was and I'm half joking when I say this, an effort to convince young women to get tons of plastic surgery, so that way when they introduce humanoid robots that don't quite look human, they'll look the same.
Yeah, that's possible.
do have, like, an alien
or
look,
so
a lot
that,
of them.
or just
Yeah,
to make
robots.
the older women who already look weird feel better because now the young women have the plastic surgery too. I don't think anyone should get plastic surgery. It's funny, like whenever I've spoken out against like the breast removals for minors because of trans, people are like, well, then you should be against, breast
augmentation.
enlargements. And I'm like, yeah, for sure.
That was the
Like,
funniest thing
just
about the liberals.
everyone leave it alone.
They were
just
like,
leave
do,
it alone.
do you have a problem with girls getting breast implants? Like, yes.
Yes, definitely have a
Next
problem
question.
with that. No nose jobs,
Yeah.
When I was a kid, people were always like, when are you going to get your nose done? And I was like, it's fine. I can smell things.
There's
working.
somebody who clicked the thumbnail for this segment where it's like FBI raids election office, and then they like looked at their phone to answer a text and kind of dozed off and came back, and now we're talking about breast implants, and they're like, wait, what
What
happened?
just happened? Yeah.
How did we get here? Because I gotta be honest, I don't even know how we got to this point. Something about elections and now breasts.
It was really just Kristi Noem because
Oh,
we're
okay, that's right.
we're
Trump's
so
not
I did hear
anti
she got a lashing.
we're so anti-feminist that
You gotta,
we were
she gotta,
that
the
we're
rumor
just
is
talking
she's gonna
about
get
her
fired.
looks.
Yeah, I heard she
2
had a
hours,
really hard
2
day the other
hours
day.
on.
I think she's going to get fired.
Yeah, I think she's probably going to go too. I don't think she's been great. I haven't been crazy about her photo ops. Like she went down to CCOT to take pictures with the prisoners.
DHS Barbie.
What are you
Yeah,
doing?
she dresses. She
Do I have to
dresses
do
up
this?
and all this stuff.
I
Do
think it's
I need
dumb.
to take over DHS and just
Listen, if the
reign with
people
an
want it-
iron fist?
When the people call on you to serve, Tim, it is your American
The
responsibility.
first
to
thing
step
I'm
up.
going to do as the head of DHS is stop all transport of cilantro into this country.
Let's do it now.
Why, you think it tastes soapy?
No, I think it tastes bad.
Agreed. I also hate cilantro.
Yeah, I'm not a big cilantro fan either. But-
I don't understand how, like, do people eat soap?
Yeah, but like it is a thing. It's a genetic thing. Like if you do those 23andMe, and it'll say
Yeah, but, like,
if
how
you
do-
have according to your DNA, if you have a preference for cilantro or not.
But they say, like, cilantro tastes like soap to some people, but I'm like, does that mean you've eaten soap?
Well, I mean, you get it in
How
your...
do you know?
smell.
What about like when
So
you
you're saying
wash your
cilantro-
face? You never
cilantro
got
tastes
soap
the
in
way
your
soap
mouth by
smells.
accident?
Have you ever seen those Air Up bottles?
The what?
The Air Up bottle. So it's a water bottle and it has this ring on top, and it's a scent anyway. And when you drink it, it like the air flows up.
That's gross.
And anyway, and you smell it, but it makes the water taste like what you're smelling, even though there's nothing that you're adding to the
Well,
water.
I
I
get
just
it. So
want
is the
plain
argument that
water.
that to some people cilantro tastes the way soap smells?
Well, kind of, but like yes, but
lot
like
of-
it's more like your nose can be.
Yeah, like flavor is.
I think
is in
cilantro
your,
tastes like cilantro, and it's bad.
Your taste buds are directly linked with your
There's only-
smell, and
there-
like if you don't
yeah.
have a sense of smell, then you can't
There's
taste.
only
Sometimes
like,
they're
actual
very
taste.
linked.
There's only salty,
Yeah.
sweet, bitter. I think umami is one, and there's one other. But the point is, like most of the flavor that you're getting is because of the is linked to your olfactory nerves, the
Right.
smell.
Right. The point is cilantro tastes terrible, and put me in charge of DHS, and I will stop it from coming into this country.
I back that.
Although we probably grow it here, but those people will go to jail.
They grow marijuana here, so yeah.
That's fine.
What would you rate, honestly, Tim? Given everything we've been talking about, how like we don't have anything on J6 and crooks and a bunch of stuff like this with the DHS.
I
and
would
how,
I would
what
J6
you rate
the
this?
cilantro farmers.
But what would you rate this administration like on how they've been doing so far, like letter grade?
Well, I gave them a C plus before, but now it's probably like a C minus. USAID shutdown was a nuclear bomb. I think people need to remember that. You can't forget. You know, every day the news cycle changes, and we forget there's massive things Trump has done that are very, very good.
That's true. That's true.
The immigration efforts they're doing are good, and I understand Trump's being obstructed by these judges every step of the way.
That's very true.
Rome wasn't built in a day. Trump's not going to knock down this machine overnight, but their messaging is miserable, and that's supposed to be what Trump is good at. Like the messaging on the Epstein stuff was the
Horrendous.
stupidest PR blunder imaginable. Seriously, here's a strategy. Don't say anything. Let the people whinge online about Epstein and literally just ignore it. That was a better PR strategy than what Trump had. I have a better idea. Trump could have just said, okay, we're going to release the files, and then,
Take your time
actually
right.
done it. But if Trump's plan was, I'm not going to release it, then he literally should have just said nothing instead of everything they did. No, it was a hoax and Epstein killed himself. That's how you win people over.
And I don't
Miserable.
like the talking to Tim Walz and stuff like this. They're literally undermining us at every step of the way. Like, even what kind of conversation are you going to have with these people that is trustworthy anyway? Why bother talking to them? I say go and grab him by his hair and arrest
Well,
him.
they already subpoenaed him on criminal conspiracy against the federal law enforcement. So
Now pull him
Trump
out of there.
is backing down.
I know it's really disheartening.
He's tired. He's
I think
probably
he's
going, I
doing
don't want to
better
fight.
I'm tired.
on foreign policies. I think he
Yes.
did really well about China, and I think they put China in a very, very defensive position now. Their allies are being really weakened, and also the tariff and the economy is so bad, and so
The EU just made a deal with India to like, because of the tariffs, they're trying to like stick it to us. But I think it's about only like 18% of what they would normally get from us. So it's like not really going to hurt us that much, but they're just trying to send a message. And, you know, their leader was all taking digs at Trump and stuff. So they're trying to do everything they can, but the EU is a terrible thing. Like somebody needs to break the EU up.
I mean, the EU has to break the EU.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, England tried, right?
No, they backed away. Yeah,
they
yeah,
pulled
yeah.
themselves out of it.
Thankfully.
Yeah, we aren't going over to Europe.
We're
to
not
break the
doing.
EU.
say
We're
to
not
do
doing
that.
anything in
I
Europe.
didn't say to do that.
Leave stupid Europe
Dictator
alone.
Lisa over here. Say that.
No, look. Europe is in control of its own destiny. If it wants to destroy itself, it's going to destroy itself, and it's not really any of our
Sort
business.
of in a
That's the whole
suicide
point
spiral.
That's the whole point of refocusing on the Monroe Doctrine.
He's
right?
done a lot of good things. I'm not saying that he hasn't. I'm
Trump overall.
disappointed
Look,
in a lot of things.
if you take away the bad messaging around the Epstein file and stuff, I think people would generally give him probably a B plus.
I think this really.
I disagree.
I was in the B plus area until this happened. This backing down. It was Bavino, and then like changing the messaging.
Until
and now
Minnesota?
till the Minnesota stuff.
The
still-
Trump
now I'm
supporters
pissed.
flipping and just being like, "Yay, we're gonna bomb Iran," when Trump literally told me he's not gonna bomb Yemen or Iran. It's like,
That way.
I don't care about
I'm
that.
still.
You could level them.
Listen, the verdict.
Sure,
in my
but the
opinion,
point
the
is-
jury's still out on Minnesota.
people. There's too many people who are zealous Trump supporters that Trump can never make a mistake. If Trump can't make a mistake, you're going to lose.
Right.
Because you need to tell Trump when he's making mistakes so that he can correct them. And if he can't correct them, then he won't. So the people that are just like, nah, we won in Minnesota, it's like, okay, well, CBP said that they're not able to deport anymore. If that's victory, then you've gotten everything you wanted. Congratulations. Next time we have a conversation, I'll just remind you that I'm in favor of mass deportations and you're in favor of only the criminals.
Right.
Yeah, I want mass deportations and I want a moratorium on immigration for 10 years. But I'm
Definitely.
in my opinion, the jury's still out on Minnesota. I think we'll see how it actually pans out.
I just don't like the messaging change.
Yep.
I think that it emboldens them to keep throwing their violent temper tantrums. And,
I'm seeing
it's a problem.
conflicting reports. There are people that say that ICE is still doing deportations. They're still snatching people up and deporting them. So if that's the case, okay, Homan's in there. If he's just like keeping it out of the public eye and making sure that people are still being deported and they're still rounding people up. And again, I'm seeing conflicting reports because some people are saying it's over. Some people are saying that it's not. So I don't know for sure what's going on. So in my opinion, the jury's still out on.
Well, Frank
Minnesota.
came out and said that he wasn't going to cooperate with federal authorities, and then Trump said he was playing with fire, and so we're back at exactly the same point.
Yeah.
Only
I like Home.
know.
I'm happy that Homan's there, and I'm very happy about the database that he wants to start doing. I'm like, let's do that.
I mean, look, if the FBI is actually investigating the signal chat and they start arresting people, again, I don't know that they're going to, but this is the reports that I'm reading is that the FBI
Well-
has it and stuff.
This Atlanta raid is a massive W.
Yeah.
I agree.
That gives Trump a big boost to his score. I want to see more on this stuff. Honestly, I care substantially more about this than I do the immigration stuff. So if we got 3 stories in the next week that like different election offices were being investigated by the feds and they were collecting evidence, I'd be very, 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 very happy.
I think they're I think they're connected because this right here, it's good to go back and look and find the violations of the law, but the immigration stuff that's going to affect the future election. So this not that this wouldn't if they're gaming the system or they're creating votes or hiding votes or not counting votes or whatever. That's a bad thing. I think that if Congress passes the SAVE Act and they actually can clean up the voter rolls, that's a good thing. But I still think that the actual biggest problem is the census and how the Congress is representation is in Congress. And if they don't take care of the illegals, they're going to count them in the census unless they make some kind of massive change to the way that people are counted, whether it be you only count citizens, which I think should be that to me is obvious. You should have to be a citizen.
I think citizens should be counted, and that number should stand on its own. We should know what that is.
Yeah, it should only be citizens. When it comes to representation, it should only be citizens. I don't care what argument people make. There is not one argument, and I've heard a bunch of them. There's not one argument anyone has ever made to me that I find compelling about why you should count total number of people versus American citizens. There shouldn't be people in America that aren't citizens. If you're here on a green card, that's one thing, but there shouldn't be illegals. You shouldn't be
I don't
counting
think
them in
you
the
should count
census.
legal permanent residents either.
Pardon me?
Well, you should know how many there are.
Yeah, but you shouldn't count them towards.
They shouldn't count
No.
toward a congressional
Right.
seat, but
No.
you should know how many there are.
I don't think that people that I don't even think first generation people should be allowed to vote. You should have like second generation.
like that.
because first generation people, there's no guarantee that they're going to come to the country and actually engage properly. Second generation kids, then fine. But like if you're a first generation person, I don't think that you should be allowed to vote. So sorry.
I voted.
I'm with
You
you.
need my vote, but not run for office. I think that is something.
another thing,
I
yeah.
think
That's
it's
big,
reasonable. Yeah, but if I have to rank, I think election security is number one.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't have that, you don't have anything
Anything.
else. You can't deport, and
And I know you're a patriot and stuff, but I think that that's probably not the majority of people that are first generation nowadays.
I don't want women voting either, so you're twice you'd be out. but they're taking my own too. So
People say like, oh, Phil, like if you because I don't think it goes far enough with just women. I think you should have to have like
Oh, I
some kind of
agree.
class. I think there should be a
Tests.
class of people that are voting, and people are
Yep.
like, oh, well, Phil, blah blah blah. What about your right? I would give up my right to vote in a heartbeat.
Me
in
too.
a heartbeat. If I knew that the people that were voting were actually educated and it wasn't just like, oh, I think
conscious
that
mind,
guy's
yeah.
pretty and that guy said that he's gonna provide these kind of government handouts to people, me or to my family or whatever. If I could get a class of people that are voting for actually good policy, I would give up my right to vote in a heartbeat. I don't care. I'm one of 330 million Americans. There's 77 million people that voted for Trump or whatever. Only 150 million people vote. Do you think your vote is that? Your vote's not going to sway it. Your vote is not that important.
We
So
were just
I would
talking
give up
about
my right to vote in a heartbeat if I knew that we were going to have actually intelligent people voting.
We got new footage of the incident here. I want to play this for you guys because you can see him spit. Looks like he's spitting into the vehicle.
So gross.
And then we'll go to our Rumble rants and chats.
Is it that time already?
He said, what did you say? Effing assault me? Mother effer?
he's inviting
Watch this. He spits. I don't know if that got it in the car or not. You can't really tell. Jeez. This dude's a psychopath.
really look like a killing nurse.
It should have knocked him out right there.
I can't believe he smashed out the taillight. That's just
And the
nuts.
noise, that is absolutely a weapon.
Yeah, how could
Oh,
you
yeah,
think
yeah.
like that? How could anybody?
It's that.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Yep.
To create confusion and disarray. They're trying to create reactions where they can use it to recruit people. So I know for a fact now, I'm going to go out to some event. There's going to be some normie person who's going to be like, I watched the video. I know for a fact they murdered an innocent guy. And there's no opportunity to be like, listen, there is so much to explain to you to understand. They go, not interested. I'm not going to hear it. All right, we're going to go to your rants and chats, my friends. So smash the like button, share the show, subscribe, all that good stuff. Uncensored portion of the show will be live at 10 p.m. at rumble.com/Timcast IRL. But before we get into all your Rumble rants and chats, we got a great sponsor for you. It is Crowd Health. Head over to joincrowdhealth.com. Use code TIM. My friends, it's open enrollment. The season where health insurance companies hope you'll blindly sign up again for overpriced premiums and confusing fine print. Don't take someone else's word for it. Trust yourself. Take control of your future with Crowd Health. It's healthcare for under $100. You'll get access to a team of health bill negotiators, low-cost prescription and lab testing tools, as well as a database of low-cost, high-quality doctors vetted by Crowd Health. And what if something major happens? You pay the first $500, then the Crowd steps in to help fund the rest. It feels like the options we used to have before Obamacare messed everything up. And of course, you'll join the Crowd, a group of members just like you who want to help pay for each other's unexpected medical events. The system is betting you'll stay stuck in the same overpriced, overcomplicated mess. And this year, it's even more complicated because most of the ACA subsidies expire, which means your prices are going sky high. So far, Crowd Health members have saved over $40 million in healthcare expenses because they refuse to overpay for healthcare. This open enrollment, take your power back. Join Crowd Health to get started today for $99 for your first 3 months using code TIM at joincrowdhealth.com. Crowd Health is not insurance. Opt out. Take your power back. It's how we win. Thanks for sponsoring the show. Let's grab your rants and chats and see what y'all are on about. Joshua French says, here's what needs to happen. Just like we have had the TV show Cops, we need a live feed of ICE raids and have it televised. It's a win-win. The nation gets to see the truth. It was a different era. Remember that? When we had Cops on like syndicated on 4 channels and everyone loved watching that show of cops kicking in doors and arresting bad guys.
Bad boys, what you gonna do?
What you
Yep.
gonna do when
What
they
you gonna
come
do
for
when they
you?
come for you? Yeah.
They were cool.
Yeah.
Well, Skull says, Timcast community, my under 2-year-old niece is in the ICU at UW-Madison Children's Hospital for scalding burns on 25% of her body. Audrey May in Wisconsin on GoFundMe. Any aid helps. God bless. Thank you. Sorry to hear.
It's awful.
Well,
We'll pray for you.
Prayer for hers.
a friendly rock says, if in the area, stop by Hillsboro, Oregon, Elks Lodge this Saturday at 5 o'clock, or go to saluteourveterans.org and donate. Support my grandmother's mission to give resources to struggling vets. Saluteourveterans.org. Right on.
Good stuff.
Schnaz says, if I become president, first executive order, everyone must grow a cilantro garden.
You're out.
Well, those are the two
Denaturalized.
candidates.
Yeah.
Democrat, pro-cilantro, conservative, Republican, anti-cilantro.
I'm going to call ice on you.
Yep. Yeah, you're going away. You're going away, buddy. All right. Let's see. We got duplicates here. Craze says, please use your social media influence to push for the Trump administration to go after politicians and police who locked down churches during COVID with FACE Act charges.
I would love
Trump's
to see
not
that.
going to do it.
He won't, but I would love to see that.
So many things need to be done. So many.
Yeah.
Gadsden Gorilla says, Trump is fighting a war lost 20 years ago and neglecting the war on his doorstep. Yikes.
That's interesting.
Yikes.
What's the war on the doorstep?
I think he's basically saying Trump is trying to fight this foreign liberal economic garbage and ignoring the domestic stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. The Buckeye History says, what's your thought on the new Fallout show? It is fan service for Fallout fans, and it's a terrible show.
Actually, I totally disagree with you. I watched that show with my son, who's a Fallout.
And he's had to explain everything to you because you couldn't watch it without him.
He had to explain everything in
Bad
season
show.
1, and no longer does he have to explain everything.
That's
don't
not
even know
true.
what
Who's
it
Caesar's
is.
Legion?
Oh, I don't know.
Exactly. And that is a huge plot point.
But it's still fun to watch the show.
I never
So-
even heard of the show.
Fallout.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, this is the Fallout IP. It's a long-standing video game series. Fallout 3 is probably one of the greatest video games ever made. I'm not saying that's actually won a bunch of awards, and it was one of the most critically acclaimed games. Fallout New Vegas, some argue, was better, and that's because Obsidian got the rights back to do one version using the Bethesda engine.
He does
But,
explain a lot of it to me, but I also
You
like
can't.
I
you
like having him
can't
sit there and
watch
talk
the
to me. So.
You can't watch the show as a new viewer who's never heard of Fallout.
Okay, that's
You
true.
will be
That's true.
confused
I
the
would
whole
have been-
time.
I would have been completely lost.
Because I watched season 1 with my wife, and it was literally just her saying like, "What is that? I don't understand. Who's this? What does that mean?" And I'm like, "Yeah," because the show's intention is to be like, if you're a fan of Fallout, you'll tune in, and that's all that matters.
It got great ratings too, didn't it?
Well,
I think so.
It's really
Anymore.
attractive to watch. Like it's really interesting. The set and the
They're
design.
walking back one of the biggest plot errors in the history of IP in season 1, where it's revealed that Vault-Tec intentionally nuked,
Right.
created the war. They walked that back in season 2 because they realized it ruined the entire IP.
Really?
Yeah. Now it's actually we didn't nuke everybody. That's just you're mistaken.
Is that why they're doing all that stuff with the wife and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I haven't finished yet. I think they're doing the last 2 episodes. Like, I think they might have just done them. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it comes out on Wednesday.
Well, they're doing the last 2 at the same time early or something
Oh,
like
I
that
see.
to end the season.
Okay.
But they haven't explained super mutants or FEV, and they introduced a super mutant and briefly showed his face. And I think it's Ron Perlman.
They
and
did introduce it, yeah.
but they've not explained FEV or anything.
No.
See, this is ridiculous. Terrible.
But I feel like you can still watch it. It's just a little more of a shallow experience.
I'm skipping through half the inane garbage.
Really?
Yeah, it's boring.
Huh.
The whole arc right now
Okay.
about like our
I'm
food,
having
our
fun
water
watching
chip
it.
and our food rations. I'm like bored, boring. They're not advancing the story. They're not explaining from the story. They're not talking about what made Fallout interesting. And sure, it's fine. But my point is this. You try watching that show with someone who's never seen it before, and they're going to be like you don't even know what Caesar's Legion is.
No.
Yeah.
No.
And that's a huge plot point in season 2. It's wild.
I'm totally lost over here. I don't even know.
They have her come in and do this whole stupid thing about how saying Kaiser is inappropriate because that's German, but literally nobody who's played the game would even understand what the point she's making is. That one really offended me because I love Fallout.
I love
And
that you're offended over.
I'm offended because I want more people to enjoy Fallout and get it. And the problem is my friends who don't know Fallout are like, I couldn't watch it because I didn't understand anything. And when I was watching with my wife, I had to keep telling her what was going on. So a good example is in season 2, she goes to Caesar's Legion camp, and Macaulay Culkin reveals his face, and it's like, so what? Macaulay Culkin's in the show.
Well,
And,
so is Camille
and he says, the
Nanjiani.
Kaiser will be with you. And she goes,
Right.
don't you mean Caesar? You're not German. And it's like, nobody, only people who've played the game are going to understand what she's talking about. Otherwise, it's just he said a weird word.
But don't they call that like Easter eggs or something?
Easter egg?
Like, yeah, like it's a little surprise for the people that know.
No, like
right?
No.
Fallout New Vegas.
I don't watch anything pop culture.
Largely centers around
Ever.
two factions, the New California Republic and Caesar's Legion, fighting over Hoover Dam. And in the game, you decide which faction you're going to side with. And Caesar's Legion is a bunch of retarded dudes, and they're dressed like legionnaires, but they don't understand that Caesar's was a casino. And they say Kaiser because they can't pronounce the word properly because they're wasteland-dwelling morons. The New California Republic is actually trying to establish governance. You watch the Fallout show, they explain nothing. And so she meets dudes dressed like legionnaires. They explain nothing. And my friends are like, huh? I don't understand. Oh, and then they just destroyed New Vegas?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Death Claws are on the strip now. What? I'm just in season 1, they have a secret meeting
I'm having fun
where
watching it with my
Vault-Tec and
kid,
like
but-
Robco, they're sitting around and they're like, we're going to drop the bombs ourselves. And you're like, wow, that just ruined the entire IP. Fallout's IP is that at some point in 2077, nuclear war broke out. This is the aftermath of that war. It's depending on the game you're playing, hundreds of years later, you emerge from a vault. The Vault-Tec Corporation built underground vaults that people could survive in after the war. And the great mystery of the game is you don't know who fired the nukes, and it gives you a sense of mystery to try and understand, what happens next. There's a bunch of different factions that are really interesting. It's brilliantly written. For them to just be like, actually, the people who built the vaults bombed everybody. There's no mystery anymore. It's not war, actually. It was the corporations. It's like cringe. So now in season 2, they're like, actually, Vault-Tec didn't do it. And it's like, oh, okay. I think they realized the fans were like, that sucks.
I hate it when people ruin IP.
Yep.
Canon is there for a reason.
But then you've got the ghoul,
Yep.
and he's injecting himself. He has an inhaler. And I'm just like, they introduce a super mutant finally, but they don't explain what a super mutant is or how they came to exist.
Serge looks really disappointed, like he's agreeing with you 100% over here.
They could have had a Game of Thrones level show with different factions based on, first, if they're coming from California, the Vault, the New California Republic, the Brotherhood of Steel, and the Enclave. And the brilliant opportunity that they squandered. Look, I like the show as a fan. It's fan service.
Is it woke?
Well, no. But they trying to make it like, actually, it wasn't governments, it was corporations, was kind of cringe. The point of the game is that war never changes. That's the idea. And China invades Alaska because we're running out of oil. They want to steal the oil reserves from Alaska. War breaks out. Someone fires a nuke. Everybody fires nukes. That's what happens. The Enclave is the remnants of the U.S. government. When the bombs drop, the U.S. government goes into Raven Rock and Mount Weather, which are the actual bunkers, and they're there. They think all of the people in the wasteland are abominations. They're plagued with disease and radiation, and they want to cleanse and wipe these people out. So they're like, it's the U.S. government. The opportunity they had to have had, they've done stuff with the Brotherhood, but it's just what they've done is cringe. The Brotherhood's now in a civil war. What are they doing?
Yeah, that is weird. That doesn't seem to make a lot of
It
sense.
should have been very easy to have a they could have been like, it's going to be like Game of Thrones. There's the Enclave, there's the Brotherhood, there's the Vault, there's, Vault, whatever number they want to go with, 43, 32, 33. And then they could have had Caesar's Legion, and you could have had each faction, and it could have been very much like the different houses in Game of Thrones. I'm not saying to make it just like Game of Thrones, but you could have had a very interesting show. And I think they just, anyway, you get the point? All right, let's read some
money's
more.
worth out of that super chat.
Yep. Abstracticon says, please do an honest comparison of the Minnesota Antifa Ice Watchers versus the SA Brown Shirts. Both are non-governmental groups associated with a political party that used illegal obstruction and violence to achieve their goal of a socialist utopia.
Well, the brown shirts, I've been watching the Nuremberg trials lately or listening to them. Like, they have a bunch of different ones, like everybody's testimony. I mean, weren't they originally set up to protect Hitler when he was going around doing his rallies and things like that in the beginning, and then it grew, right? So I don't see the comparison so much there in the beginning setup. I mean, they're actively trying to undermine a legitimate government where the brown shirts were originally, right, for Hitler's protection. So I don't know.
Oh yeah, so this video is going viral. Someone super chatted 36 in Park, Minneapolis, MPLS, January 13th, 2026. And that's the video we just watched that's going viral where he comes in and starts fighting with the cops. Interesting. Over says, Pretti left his job to become a paid ICE resistance. Pretti was a workplace accident. OSHA should look into his training. You don't need to pay these people. They're zealots. I guess you'd call them fundamentalists. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, Bruce Springsteen released a protest song called Streets of Minneapolis.
Thank God.
I know,
We needed
everyone was
that
waiting
one.
for that. It pays
Good
tribute
grief.
to Renee Good and Alex Pretti.
Yeah. Thank God.
Yeah.
Brandon says the second he left his house, he was committing a federal crime by stalking federal agents. Therefore, his concealed carry is invalid. Yeah, agreed. Like, they're like, he was peacefully protesting with a gun. Well, now we know he was violently assaulting cops, federal agents with a gun. So that's just felonies.
Not even that. Like, what didn't protesting like used to be? You stand on a corner with a bunch of signs, not like literally next to the person screaming in their face. That's not a protest. That's like obstruction, assault, all these other things. He shouldn't have been. If you're going to protest, you should be at least 30 yards away. Like
It used to be where protesters would get arrested, but it's like as soon as the police approached them, they would submit to the arrest and stuff. Now that people just want to
civil
fight the
disobedience, right? Like,
Yeah.
but this is like
Insurrection.
this is like
Yeah.
That's the
violent,
word for
Yeah.
it. It's-
antagonistic. It's not the same.
Well,
No,
part of
certainly.
the way that
you
they
have to
do
get
that
the
is because
training and how
Right.
to deal in.
Did you see the leaf blower thing? That really, I was like, what do they use leaf blower? Oh, now I get it. Right so in that manual, the one that Cam did, they said like towards the end you get extra
for the tear
points.
gas.
Yeah, you get
Yeah.
extra points because it's legal to have a leaf blower in your car, but it's not to use it this way. But they're literally encouraging people to break the law by taking leaf blowers and redirecting the tear gas in the officers'
Yeah.
faces. Like they're not being trained to like peacefully protest.
no, but I mean, but also the rhetoric
paramilitary.
surrounding it. I mean, if you look at the Bruce Springsteen song, right? Through the winter's ice and cold, down Nicollet Avenue, a city aflame fought fire and ice, 'neath an occupier's boots. King Trump's private army from the DHS,
I never liked
guns
him
belted
anyway.
to their coats, came to Minneapolis to enforce the law, or so their story goes. I mean, they're setting it up like this whole big occupier force invasion thing. You had Tiffany Cross on CNN last night saying that ICE was some kind of private militia and that it's full of white supremacists, and that the reason you don't see the Proud Boys out there protesting is because they're all just in ICE with white supremacist tattoos on their necks. That's what she was saying. And when Kevin O'Leary was like, "No, you're crazy," she was like, "Well, you're in a cult, so I don't listen to you anyway." This is what's going on. Like, it's such a huge narrative thing that they really have come to believe that they are in some sort of existential warfare with the federal government.
And there's no reasoning with them. So that's why like the time for talking is like, I don't know, way past.
Well, they think so for sure.
I think
And that's why when they try to
Still, Phil, stop looking at me like
you've got 10 minutes, Lisa. You've got 10 minutes.
I'm behaving.
You can
You can start talking like Darth Vader during the Rumble after show, right? Until then, leave the younglings alone.
I'm just saying, it's not working.
Let's see. Kania says, is that how you pronounce it? Bill Maher even called the New York mayor a communist. Well, but he called himself a communist.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
But Mom Donnie is a communist.
Yeah.
We should really use this word more often than left. It is already, absolutely 100% communist.
They're just so gross. Like, did you see the housing chick? Like, she was on all these podcasts. Like, do you want to take a shower and do your hair? She literally looked like she rolled out of bed, and she's saying the most absurd things.
Sia Weaver.
Oh, she was horrible. I'm like, did she just wake up? Did she not know it was going to be an on-camera interview? Why are they like that?
Well, we called it the Ian method.
Oh my god.
To She's point, like it is good to call communists because that's what they are. And they like to do everything they can to avoid that that phrase, or at least most of them do. They call themselves progressives, like, which is that it's
Euphemism, yeah.
it's just euphemisms and trying to avoid using what is still to boomers and Gen X like myself, it's still fairly a dirty word, but to millennials and to
Yeah,
Gen
this
Z,
is a good word. That is our challenge.
There was just
They
a
have to-
girl,
yeah.
another TikTok one. She was like, I was feeling really like unfulfilled and hopeless and whatever. And then I found communism. She's not even a parody account. She's like, and then I found communism. Now I have something to believe in. And she's like I know it hasn't been implemented right yet, but like it's really. And she was 100% serious that it has now fulfilled her, like a religion has.
That's
right.
It really is.
So you can't talk to these people. They're done, and they really they're 100% in. And a lot of people don't want to say it, but now they're all over TikTok saying they're proud communists. They
Yeah,
are
they
saying
love
it.
it.
They're
I
admitting
know.
it.
So for older people, that's a dirty word.
Right.
Yeah.
The-
then
but-
we have the
But the,
challenge.
the younger the kids don't know what it means. Nobody taught them what it meant. Nobody teaches them what communism is. They just hear that it's amazing utopian vision for a perfect society where everything is free and good.
And a lot of that is
And
That sounds
impossible.
good, actually. I like
Right?
that. Yeah,
I
can
mean,
we, can we
let's
do
all
that?
go be commies. Terrific plan.
Well, I mean, no, communism for you guys, not for me. I get free stuff.
X,
You wanna be the
get
champagne
all
commies.
This, kind of post of how Mao was a great guy, how Stalin was a great guy, and people have just loved it.
To be fair, Stalin did kill a lot of communists.
Yeah, for that, it's good. Yes, you're right. Mao too. Mao, Mao
Mao,
killed
yeah.
more communists than Stalin.
It's
Yeah.
it's morbid humor. It's we'll save the real spicy stuff for the after show.
But that is really a problem. You call them communist, which I try to do, but they think it's a good word.
Yeah, but I mean, it is frustrating because the young people in America have been, across the West have been so miseducated. They've been filled so much BS. You know about how bad the Nazis were, but no one has any idea about not just, and never mind the obvious ones like how bad China is and how bad the Soviet Union was, but like all over Eastern Bloc Europe, like the communist countries that were part of the Warsaw Pact, they were just brutal all the time. People don't think about the fact that that Pol Pot killed 20% of the people in Cambodia. 20% of the
I
population.
think
he killed.
1/3, more than 20. Yeah.
Was it a third?
Yeah, a
So
third.
I mean, and you can't. There's no way to justify that, right? Like you can say, well, maybe there were blah blah blah. Like it none of it flies at all.
I think a reset is coming before the Great Reset. Quickly.
What does that mean?
I think that like every nation has like its golden age and then its fall. I think the fall will come before the actual Great Reset. I really do.
I don't know.
Let's read this one from Ev Dirty. Right-wing groups are punished by the state. Of course, there aren't many big groups like the left. The state of Minnesota is literally helping the left organize. I understand that, you'll get arrested by the Democrats, but if the argument is we can't do it because they've won, then okay, then like I guess El Salvador.
Poland.
Like if the argument's
we're going to Poland.
That's not bad. Yeah, Poland's pretty good.
Poland's great. We're going to Poland.
Argentina.
Yeah,
I
no
heard
Islam.
I heard they have
no
great,
Islam.
I heard they have
Happy
fun
Christmas.
little Bavarian and German villages down there in Argentina for some reason.
For some
Yeah,
reason.
I wonder why that could be.
There's a viral video of a woman. She's like, I found this nice little German village while in Argentina. And then someone commented, nobody tell her.
Yeah,
No,
it
never
really.
jokes
There is that one really pretty one.
But we have to save this country. I'm going nowhere. Because if America is not saved, or Poland or El Salvador, they can't survive.
All you have to do, though, is get in good with the CCP and be a good party member. And then it's everyone else that suffers.
No, that's not safe. That
Oh, yeah,
is the
they're
game.
purging
No, they're
Xi's
purging,
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no. It's not safe to be a communist.
Rumor has it
Yeah.
they killed like
Even you made to the top, it's still not
Well,
safe.
but you could go to Alaska.
I mean, you should stay here and fight first. But if
But Alaska is
if
here.
it really, if we,
No,
if
no.
everything
Alaska
really
is-
goes to
I'm
hell, then you go
serious.
to Poland.
This is my home. I'm here.
Yeah, me too.
I'm fighting. Absolutely going nowhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
I don't know,
Fight
Alaska's great.
Fight for your country first, but then if it really gets, if
I heard
it's
they have big
insane,
pumpkins in
then you go.
Alaska. That's what Libby said.
Yeah,
Big ones.
yeah. The big pumpkin
There
in
you go.
Alaska.
With the polar
Who
bear?
could want for anything
Yeah,
else?
with the polar bear and
With
the,
the polar bear.
I'm in.
the long growing season.
Polar bears are
because
the
of all
only
sun.
bears that look at human beings as prey.
Food, yeah.
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 Yeah, I
So,
wouldn't want to be alone in the woods with a bear.
no.
Gambit Pepper says, where did you think all the USAID and fired FBI went? You really think they just walked away? Yeah, right. They're probably organizing these
they're
networks.
activists. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Well, actually, they're running the government now in Virginia.
Yep.
And,
Don't talk
that is
about
scary
Virginia.
stuff. Virginia's getting bad fast.
Absolutely awful.
Man.
And maybe, hopefully, it will be a lesson to those voters. Now they suffer, and they hopefully they learn something.
I mean, yes, but to be
In 2 years.
to be a little magnanimous towards the voters, like they really did, like she really did run as a moderate. She didn't run as an extremist. Granted, the AG was definitely an extremist, talking about killing conservatives' kids. But the governor did run as a moderate, and then when she got in, she just went as hard left as you could possibly go in the United States now.
If you're stupid enough to believe there's still such a thing as
That's right.
yeah,
Don't trust them.
moderate, yeah, Democrats. Just know.
That's the truth.
Completely untrustworthy.
Yeah. M Suff says, I got doxxed 2 days ago because I spoke up for ICE. My HR got harassed, but they don't care. The sad part is the people doxxed me are from Taiwan.
Really?
Lots of Taiwanese want U.S. help Taiwan, but they also hate Trump. No death threats for me yet.
Let him come. I just gave kind of an address. There was a woman saying she wanted to like fight MAGA people and like give me your address and I'll show up. And I said, yeah, meet me at down at 2G Library. And you know what I mean? Like I put that. I don't care. Come, let's do it.
I can't do that because I carry a gun and then I get in trouble.
Right.
Yeah, you want to be careful with
I
that.
cannot say anything like that.
We're going to go to the uncensored portion of the show, so smash the like button, share the show, subscribe to this channel. It'll be over at rumble.com/Timcast IRL. You can follow me on X and Instagram at Timcast. Did you want to shout anything out?
Well, again, my book. Yeah, I really want the people to learn something about the history of CCP, and now we consider our most the greatest threat. But how did CCP become so powerful? And again, it is United States. Of course, first it is the Soviet Union, but after Soviet Union split, and America stepped in as its
I can't
sole
wait
banker.
to read it, honestly.
This story is extraordinary, and how those people, same people, journalists, leftist journalists, and later diplomats, political leaders that went to China, and they made all the possible mistakes, and helped the CCP to take over China, and a lot of those people were indicted by McCarthy.
Yeah.
McCarthy was totally
McCarthy,
right.
McCarthy was right.
Right,
and
he was right.
No matter what you think of Nixon,
He was right,
opening.
too.
No, he went to China and opened up China, didn't he?
No.
No. Yeah.
No,
Nixon
he-
went to China.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
He
Remember that.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Oh
so
my
now,
God.
now.
No, I
take it back.
I just stopped
didn't know
at 1924. 1949, that's when CCP took over China with the help, knowingly or unknowingly, by the Americans.
bummer.
Tell them where they can follow you on X.
X Van Fleet, XVANFLEET. And I do a lot of posts about the histories and to learn, and so that we can see that we're repeating it every day. We're repeating it, but then 20 years later, CCP was in absolutely total ruins, and so who helped them?
The United States.
United States, Nixon, and after that, it's just one president after another that made the same mistakes until one day. Yeah,
We should just stop helping people.
until Trump, and Trump is seriously is the only one that really recognized the danger of CCP and
Right
start
on.
to do things and take actions. And I think he's done a great job dealing with CCP.
Right on.
Libby?
I just followed you, so I'm going to check out everything. I'm going to check out your book. I'm Libby Emmons. You can follow my podcast at thepodmillennial.com. I have to get used to that. Go to the Pod Millennial, subscribe, like it, do all of the things, and we'll have a new episode dropping on Tuesday. And you can find me on Twitter at Libby Emmons. Thank you.
Go ahead, Phil.
No, he's last.
Oh, fine. I'm Lisa. You can follow all the Timcast stuff. Watch the show and Tim's morning show, which I'm hosting tomorrow again, by the way. And follow the Culture War. And I'm on Twitter. There
What's
you
your
go.
Twitter account?
Lisa Elizabeth.
I am Phil That Remains on Twix. The band is All That Remains. We're going on tour in April. We're going to be starting off with a show in Albany. We're going out with Dead Eyes and with Born of Osiris. You can check out All That Remains at All That Remains Online, or you can get tickets at allthatremainsonline.com. You can check out the band on Apple Music, Amazon Music, Pandora, Spotify, YouTube, and Deezer. Don't forget the left lane is for crime.
We will see you all at rumble.com/TimcastIRL in about 30 seconds. Thanks for hanging out.